All right, 4 o'clock. Let's go ahead and get the drainage committee meeting started. Let the record reflect that, all members are present besides Mr. Brew and Mr. Patterson. Item number 1, reallocate $411.40 from the roofer levy for Mesa Bond project back to the ring levy project.
Yeah, this is just a housekeeping item. We don't know, we no longer need that funding in that revert, and it originally came from the ring levy project, so we want to put it back to that.
Aaron, are we gonna be good from whenever the long reach goes there?
Yeah, that's an existing project that we did already.
We have everything budgeted in for the long reach?
Yeah.
All right.
So move.
Motion by Mr. Carter,
Second.
second by Mr. Mathern, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Item number 2, update the Lord Texas Murray Canal, and Himalaya Canals.
I think Mr. Charlie has requested this to just be left on, so.
I mean, this, to do what he asked, me and Paul met with Joseph. And we, looked at the entire scope again, and we picked out 2 sections that we can do in-house to save costs. It would be the 2 sections on the side of Oakley Road that were being dug to grade to act as a reservoir for the canal. So according to that scope he has, that's what we said that we could do in-house easiest.
Is that in the scope that, Sawa's working on as well?
And does he have labor to cover in-house work?
I guess I'm not sure. It wouldn't be anything for.
It wouldn't be
this year,
anything.
obviously, but it was just, we were asked to go and see what we can do in-house to save on costs.
Just table that for now. All right, item number 3, update on the parish-wide projects from the parish manager with expected completion dates.
Y'all see, I threw together everything that was left on, in the handout I gave. Everything that was left for our drainage projects that have actual project numbers. I put private culvert installation that we have still on the books, cross culvert projects, and then I just went ahead and just did every project that we have planned so far, all the way from road and bridge to rolling into the levee grass cutting, that we would start in the spring. If, you'll see listed some things as priority with a tentative date to start would be the month and the year. And then I listed why some things are still in progress or pending, whether it be a right-of-way acquisition of materials, funding. And there was a couple of things that are complete that put complete next to that are still on the, our allocation sheet.
I have a question, that 141 Michael Street. I'm not sure, but that, I'm thinking it should have been 156 Michael Street, that's what it's for last couple of that.
Right, we kind of saw that the other day, when I got a report from, Paul, that I think it was like an address mix-up in the, maybe in the project, but, because whenever we had went talk to that guy, he had no issues at that address, so it would be 156.
I make a motion that can we change that to 156?
I'm making a note right here.
Ms. Kim, the other thing I noticed too was, the third one from the top, established drainage ditch on College Point Lane. It didn't have a project number. But I went back in the minutes and I remembered that, it was approved to actually make it a project, but it wasn't on the,
Is it just supposed to have labor to it? Because if it's just labor, there's no project number that gets.
I think we had a dollar amount to that.
yeah, it was, 1,300.
But just for labor?
Yes, ma'am. It would have been
That's
just-
why you don't have a project number, because we don't create a project if it's just labor, because the salaries are not charged to these projects. Salaries are just charged to salaries. So if there's no material, there's no project number. I do the allocation, but
Okay.
I'll double check it for you, but. 1,300, you said?
I
Yeah, we
think
just
it's
recently did that.
13 or 12, it was,
I'll check to make sure I didn't overlook it.
yeah, November 26th.
Okay.
Maybe overlooking this, but I don't see Oak Lane and Giat Street. And, the levee behind Kirk Blanchard's house in here. I knew we had some money that was allocated.
I'm glad you said that, because that was the same thing as the College Point. I remember us talking about it, and you had moved some money over.
Yes.
Oak Lane
Yeah,
construction.
I
project.
saw the Oak Lane one, I put that with the, Oak Lane construction project.
Yeah. What about the, Kirk Blanchard levy and the Giat Street levy? You know, we had allocated some funding for them two particular projects. I haven't seen them on the last few drainage, reports.
Yeah, that's true, I didn't notice either.
I'm pretty sure we allocated those and I maybe didn't provide y'all a drainage report since then, but I'll check that. Oh, what you said, Giat and,
And,
Oh.
levy behind, Kirk Blanchard's house. What about north of
The cross culvert,
yes,
that's on, on the cross culvert list, the third sheet, this North Bay Road.
all right. So we gotta add Curtis Street to that, Karen. Yeah, I'd mark, North Curtis instead of Curtis Street. Recall that, cross culvert.
The one, so the guys went blow it out, and they found no issue. Then the homeowner had no issue either. You still want to replace it?
Gotta look at it and make sure everything's good.
Okay.
Yeah, if we don't need a change, I definitely don't wanna change it.
I'm just talking about, my item number 3 with Howard Point Lane. There's a couple of them that's in here that has pending, right away. Do you need help from us, with the residents, with making sure that those documents are filled out? Or y'all having hurdles or issues in trying to get in touch with the residents to get the documents filled out with?
For that one in particular, it's, I was only able to speak to one person. It just so happened not to be that resident down that street, but yeah, I mean, I would like help.
If you need help, just
Yeah.
reach out to us and we'll see how we can help you connect the dots to get that information so we can continue to move the project forward. Instead of it just being, pending right away.
Right.
Because, you don't let us know, we don't, we know our residents too as well. I'll work on mine.
Sydney Street, Aaron.
It's here. I have that one listed. Yeah, that one, I have, a priority with that one too because of the liability.
I need, if you're not gonna do that thing within a few days, there need to be fencing around that washout, around that catch basin
On,
Sydney.
okay,
As a safety issue. Another question I got for you is, with all these projects remaining, how much other projects are we doing for as private installations on the books?
no,
None.
everything has been on drainage project.
Do you have some on the books to do?
Yeah, you got it in the paper. It's in there.
Yeah, I have it
It's
in
in
there.
there.
I take that back. I'm sorry.
Hey,
We've done two private culvert installations in the last maybe month.
Gotcha. Well, I mean, my recommendation, I mean, you got 2 full pages on completed project. It's probably culvert installation don't happen till these two front pages are done.
You said that, but I got COVID that drainage problem and
I'm
then
talking about
change.
private.
Oh, okay.
Private.
Okay.
I mean, we got stuff in the books for almost a year, ain't been touched. Yeah, I
Not
know,
longer than that.
and we're doing private installation, you know, it's gonna come to the time where we're not gonna do any private installation, because we can't handle what we got.
I was at the last two places I went and give measurements and sizes to the resident. They just chose to use a contractor. So that they contacted their own contractor to do the installation.
I would like to see this knocked down. I mean,
And we got a lot.
So,
there's no maintenance going on.
so,
I mean, we're not sweeping ditches. I mean, I know I have a lot of problems, a lot of ditches that needs to be swept out, and it's not happening.
so that goes back to what Mr. Nakane just said about the private carbon installations. That also should go into these big jobs that we have that we should contract out instead of doing them in-house, because we still can't,
Oh, and that's why we bought new machines and we hired more operators around
I mean,
to do more in-house stuff to save the parish money.
your list gonna keep getting longer. Something gotta give.
Yes, and when you look at it, this past rainfall, you said, we had a lot of calls coming in. You know, we had covers blocked up and all that. That's a lot of maintenance work, you know, that we need to maintain. And then when the weather get bad, we're getting all these calls and the guys gotta go out, and try to rush to stop people from flooding. You know, we gotta do better with our maintenance.
So with that being said, I'd like to chime in on that. Aaron, can you tell us what Road and Bridge did on Tuesday? How many guys you have for Road and Bridge on Tuesday? Four guys. All right. There's a significant amount of rain that fell in our area, and Chris's area had trouble. These four guys, what did they do?
So two, during the rain, they were instructed to go out and ride and look for clogged culverts, in which they found a few, and we were able to take care of the culvert cleaner. After the rain, two of the gentlemen that take care of our parks went to do some custodial items at a couple of park restrooms for the remainder of the day. The other two individuals, again, remained looking for drainage problems and noted them so we could take care of the culvert in a sense. Due to the weather, we weren't picking up debris.
Yeah. Anytime, this is just my thoughts, that if we have weather like we had this past Tuesday and we have flooding problems, we shouldn't be cleaning bathrooms. These guys should all be out there getting with their shovels and cleaning out culverts, doing whatever they can do to prevent any type of flooding. Road and Bridge, picking up trash and all of that should have been shut down. Everybody on an emergency job. I consider it to be an emergency job because we had, 8 inches of water, rainfall in a short amount of time, and we just can't handle it. So, to me, everybody should have been called for drainage. That's my thoughts on it.
Yeah, Michael Street, the canal, all that's finished, sweeping out the canal and all that, that's finished.
On
Like my street,
Mike Street,
Yeah.
with the levee,
you know,
no, all of the material has been delivered on site. Right now, there's just a couple of days of dress work that needs to be done behind the residents to pull the mats out. And then the rest is now just doing some small prep work with another machine for the long reach to come. So no digging has occurred yet back there. All the material was delivered on site and stockpiled on the side
so
of the
we
road.
got everything, straighten it out before.
Yeah. Yeah, we're trying to dress it up before, the holidays, if we get another resolution from Mrs. State.
They did.
You did?
Yes.
Just, I just submit, get them to them, and email me a copy of it.
It is.
I mean, I can't, can only speak for myself, but what's your thoughts on rainfall of 8 inches? I mean, everybody should be on drainage projects.
I agree with that.
No.
We need to get some maintenance done. This problem is not going away.
Well, you know, if we saying that we need maintenance done, but we still want these big jobs done in-house. So we pulling people for those jobs, it's hard for him to work the whole bag with maintenance with a small crew.
You don't have enough employees.
Yeah, I'll be honest with y'all, y'all saw I put a couple of job ads out and it's not problem. No,
Nobody knock down the door to come to work.
no, and I mean, some people that come to apply aren't, again, operative. I mean, you have some that's, it's just regular grounds maintenance and kind of custodial things, and so we don't have really we don't have seasoned people putting, or I'm sorry, experienced people putting in application.
Just keep advertising.
Yeah.
Keep advertising.
All right, let's move on. Item number 4, request approval to appoint Jordan De La Rosa for a 5-year term to the Bayou Lewis Drainage District Board.
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Patterson,
Second.
second by Mr. Blanchard, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Motion to adjourn. Motion by Mr. Blanchard, second by Mr. Carter, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Meeting adjourned.
It's 4:18. We'll get the personnel committee started. Let the record reflect all members of present. Item number 1, request approval to advertise for OSEP administrative assistant to replace retiring 911 field worker administrative assistant.
Yeah, that's correct, gentlemen. I put that on the agenda. I have a employee that's been working with us for over 20 years. She will be retiring in the end of March. So I want to start this process of interviewing to fill her position. And I have given y'all the job description in front of y'all to look at if you have any questions.
When are you looking at bringing this person on?
Hopefully by the first or second week of February, that range. So I give up at least about a month and a half, 2 months of training with Ms. Carol.
Do you have a pay rate, range?
No, sir, I didn't bring that to the table. I apologize. I've been in St. Charles Parish all day. I guess I just dropped the ball on that with Mr. Alcorn.
But when you advertise, there's a pay rate range.
Base.
Based
on-
Well, I mean, base, at least base.
I'll give with Ms. Torres on that. We can come up with a figure.
The only, and I think y'all might have saw my comment, is the existing employee is 911. She's charged to 911, so it looks like he's revamped this a little bit to do more emergency preparedness, so then that pay fund should change with that.
That's how can sustain. Can-
That's general fund.
All general fund.
So general fund.
Either way is general fund?
No.
No, 911 is a.
911 is 911.
911 is a millage, but presently now, when in her capacity, she does a lot for OEP, so I mean, I don't know if it would, it's only giving this new employee a little more direction is, on different things that she can be.
I guess if is she still gonna be the 911
Yes.
addresser?
Yes,
That's
that
not
would
going
be her
away.
primary role.
Okay.
That is correct. That's why she's gonna be a field hand, where she can better go out in the field and take pictures and make measurements for 911 addresses and maintain that 911 address system.
Are there any roles and responsibilities the current employee has that the new employee will not have?
No.
I
You
think
mean
just
the one that currently, say that, ask the question again?
All right, let me ask it a different way. Are we gonna have to be expecting to hire an additional employee in the permitting department to make up for,
my concern.
For the work that she's doing there.
yeah, for work that she's doing now? Or is this new person gonna do everything the existing employee is doing?
I'm trying to move out of that capacity. I'm trying to move away from because this is a unique situation, because the employee I have now, when she was hired here, that was all one department. So she was multi-trained in all those different facets. So that left her out as far as for fooling with FEMA reimbursements and the different things and rewriting all the, handling operations manuals and the different things I have additional work for right now. So yeah, that would move her away from permitting. I'm not saying that she can't maybe come on and handle small roles in the permitting office and do small permits and answer the phone and that type of stuff, but, I'm looking to for her to have a larger role in OEP and move away from permitting, if that's the question you're asking. Yes, sir.
We
Now-
hold up a spot for permitting, because we're gonna need a third person.
Well,
I don't think, I disagree.
I don't think so. Permitting's can be handled by two people.
Again, we had this with back and forth with John, the big discussion about whether they should be two departments. They're in the same place. So why can't we utilize the same
I
personnel?
just want, if somebody walks up to that window, they're being served.
Absolutely. This person, I would hope, is not gonna move locations. They're
No,
gonna
they
stay in
should.
the
They
same
can go to
place.
that window.
But
and
they
can
have
say,
to be
we can take a
cross-trained
message
for
or we can-
permitting as
yeah.
well.
Yeah.
Why can't we have the person that we're looking for assume the same roles and responsibilities?
Cause I want this new person to take on a larger role in OEP.
What other role is that?
So-
That would be handling, dealing with FEMA. Reimbursements, the stuff that Ms. Nikki handles most of in Public Works.
Wanna take it away?
And yeah, I mean, it's supposed to be under emergency management. And also the, like assisting with, up to dating of the, we have a emergency guidebook that was done in 2017. It's time to be updated right now. So in other parishes have, contracted somebody to do that. I think we can do it in-house. But I'm gonna need some assistance with that. It's gonna be a lot of, 200 or 300 page,
What it
detailed
costs us
book.
to contract that out
I didn't get
versus
any price. I didn't
a
get any
staff
prices
employee?
yet. This is just up for discussion.
Also, just advertise and see what they get. Take it from
And
there.
that's another issue.
You might, yeah.
Well, that also comes back to what I just asked. You're taking on a bigger role with
Okay.
taking what's from Miss Nikki to going up under your umbrella. A pay rate or a base pay, you got to look at that.
Yes, sir.
It could be
You don't want
not
to
what
do
Miss
it
Carroll's
you know,
making, but it could be more.
Not so much Mr. Pond, but she hadn't said that
That's
she
my
would want to do it.
point.
She's looking at, she's got 24, 25 years, and another 3 or 4 years, she'll be going. It's gonna take a little while for somebody to learn this process. FEMA's not easy to deal with. We don't get storms that often. And it's always, any other parish that handles stuff, emergency management handles FEMA related issues. Dealing back and forth with the FEMA representatives, and that type of stuff. So I want somebody that can just, come in and learn from Ms. Nikki. It might be a couple of years before they can really learn the process.
Which goes back to what Kim just said. Yes, Jazz and Justin, when they're there, they can handle it. I think they got it under control with permitting. But if Justin is out, maybe in the field, if Jazz is off or on vacation, then who's gonna pinch hit? And he just said he wants somebody at that window. Just think about
Gotta have somebody.
it.
Advertise, see what you get.
Okay.
Y'all gotta make a motion.
Motion for Paul to advertise.
Motion by Mr. Larkin,
Second.
second by Mr. Conley, all in favor? Any nays? Item 2, request approval of the proposed personnel manual amendments.
Yes, these are included for your reference. Most of these amendments were, relative to the change when we all got rid of the, assistant parish manager. So if you read through a lot of them, it adds the general foremans, whether it be for drainage or road and bridge or whatnot, or maintenance in those roles, and it cleans it up. And Aaron, I got all that information to Aaron, and, he provided me that. We did communicate on that. As far as the child support referral policy, I will defer to Ms. Tyler on that.
Oh, I'm sorry. That is on a CSBG requirement to add child support referral to our policy and procedures. Just to let a client know that the custodial parent, that we can refer them to the child support office, the custodial parent, if they're a single parent family.
So they're requiring this to be part of our manual.
Yes.
Make a motion that we, adopt changes.
Motion by Mr. Carter,
Second.
second by Mr. Larkin, all in favor? Any nays? Motion passed. Item 3, enter into executive session pursuant to LARS 42-17A1 to discuss personnel matters such as Discussion shall include violation of fleet safety program of personnel manual equipment operator, 3B.
Motion going to go to the second.
Motion by Mr. Nakane. Second by Mr. Carter, all in favor? Motion by Mr. Knockins,
Second.
second by Mr. Carter, all in favor?
There's no budget yet.
Recommend no action on item number 3.
No action on item number 3.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Knockins, second by Mr. Carter. All in favor?
4:42, we'll go ahead and get started with the Road and Bridge Committee meeting.
That was to adjourn.
Motion to
Oh, I'm
adjourn.
sorry.
Motion to adjourn by Mr. Carter,
Second.
Sorry.
second by Mr. Knockins, all in favor? Meeting adjourned.
4:42, go ahead and get started with the Road and Bridge Committee meeting. Let the record reflect that all members are present. 2 items on the agenda. Number 1, approve 2025 annual bids and fuel fleet car bids.
I put both those hands.
Darren?
I put both those hands out, hand out, in front of y'all. The legal side paper with the yellow marks, that's our annual bids, so.
Always recommendation, go to the whole bid.
Yep.
For the fleet fuel, we only received 1 bid and it's for a discounted price. You'll see that on the top page. It's with the same provider that we use now, but it's actually at reduced rate. So
That's always good
it should
news.
help us. Yeah.
Don't happen. Jamie, you might want to go with. I entertain a motion on the floor to accept the low bids, for our annual low bids and also the, fleet card bid. And entertain a motion to accept. I got a motion by the chair and got a second by Mr. Bro. All in favor? All opposed? Item number 2, update on Housel Road Bridge repair.
Put another hand out in front of y'all about I received back the 3 quotes for the engineering services for the repair to that bridge.
So you're at three companies that participated, providing a bid.
If anybody got any questions, I'll do my best to answer, but this is the 3 proposals I have.
So I guess I only have a copy of 1 in the packet. We're supposed to have all 3?
There must have been a winner in the front.
But it's probably.
This,
I like it.
Not Providence, I think it's,
Yeah, Providence.
yeah, Providence,
Yeah, principal.
Yeah.
Principal, okay, and Southwark. Okay, we got all 3 of them.
You reviewed all 3 of them, Mary? You
Sir?
reviewed all 3?
Yes, sir. And again, it's, you know, a couple of them have, oh, I'm sorry, there's just. As far as the prices, I mean, it's the lowest, let's take it that way.
Am I missing something on the principal? It looks like that total is 29,000.
Fourteen.
Oh, I'm sorry, I did, that is my mistake on the cover sheet.
28.
Yeah.
I think the subtotals
Yeah, when I added up on the cover sheet, I grabbed all of those numbers together.
I got a motion.
He had the four individuals.
Yeah, I added.
I got a motion to go with, principal engineering for the total cost of $29,000 for engineering.
An motion on the floor by Mr. Palmville to go with the lowest bidder of 29,000.
Second.
Got a second by Mr. Blanchard, all in favor? All opposed, ayes have it.
Road fund as well. I'm
Ma'am?
sorry, road fund as well.
Yes, ma'am,
Okay.
half cents roll fund. All in favor? All opposed, ayes have it, motion carried, motion to adjourn. So move. Motion by Mr. Blanchard, second by. Second by Mr. Mathern. All in favor? Meeting adjourned.
It is 4:48. We'll get the finance committee meeting started. Let the record reflect all members are present. First, approval to pay list of bills submitted through December 6, 2024.
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Nakam,
Second.
second by Mr. Carter. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. Request approval of the 2025 boat launch lease renewal with Ricky Landry.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Nakam,
Same renewal. Second.
second by Mr. Carter. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. Request approval of the 2025 boat launch lease renewal with Terry Blanchard.
Same thing again, right?
Yes.
Motion by Mr. Nakam,
Second.
second by Mr. Carter. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. Request approval of the 2025 polling place contract renewals.
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Mathern, second by Mr. Alcorn. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. Request approval of the 2025 Assumption Art contract renewal.
Same price.
Same price. Motion by Mr. Mathern,
Second.
second by Mr. Carter. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Request approval of the 2025 fire protection contract renewals with all 5 fire departments.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Alcorn, second by Mr. Nakam. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. Request approval of the CEA renewal between Assumption Parish Police Jury and the Lafourche Parish Sheriff's Office relative to housing female inmates.
Motion.
I stayed the same.
Motion by Mr.
Yep.
Mathern,
Second.
second by Mr. Nakam. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Give way.
Approve amended budgets for 2024 and proposed budgets for 2025 and recommend for publication.
They still in the press. Melissa's doing some finishing and it's not here yet, so.
Table.
Out of the table for now.
Close it and, come back after, because we can't start another meeting.
Do it out.
Uh, I did some things. It is what it is. I'll close it, close it.
We'll just make a motion to go into recess and then we can,
Can you just take non-action items on these things that are for discussion under engineering? And I
Sure.
know you don't want to start the committee, but I don't have
Not
any
in
objection
finance,
to you
though.
taking non-action items.
In finance, though?
Well, I'll make a motion to
You
adjourn.
can take that
finance,
under the regular meeting.
have to come back into finance. So,
Yeah, you can recess finance and start engineering.
all right, entertain a motion to recess finance. Motion by Mr. Alcorn, second by Mr. Nakam. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Can you really start engineering?
I have no issue with that. I don't know why we put times anyways, because it really doesn't make a difference. Because you don't allow public comment on the committee items anyways. I mean, everybody noticed as to why it's on there and what time we do it, but all the action is taken under the regular meeting, which
Okay.
is at 6 o'clock.
You recommend open times.
So we go ahead with engineer.
Yeah, I'm fine with you guys starting engineering.
Without, no, we just can't vote on it.
Well, again, you're not gonna take formal action until
Until the
you make
meeting.
your
Committee.
recommendation.
Approving it in
Committee
committee, but you're
recommendation.
gonna take formal
Okay.
action in the meeting.
All right, we'll call engineering grants committee meeting to order. Reflect all members are present. First item, update, from GIS engineering. Jordan Moore Street Drainage Project, First Granville Drainage, Bell Rose, and Concierge.
Good afternoon, Jerry, Dwayne, today on with GIS Engineering. We have no updates again on Joel Lamar, still pending the funding. Quincy Canal, the hydraulic report was submitted on this report for review, and we're currently, working on a new proposal to complete the project and plan to submit, next week at the latest. The Bell Rose project is, currently under advisement, and we'll have a decision regarding that, at the next board meeting next week.
Well, actually, on that item, I spoke with ADA on it, and, we're gonna reject all bids due to them being in excess of the budgeted amount for the project. And, we'll rescope the project and, rebid, as soon as possible. To be within the cost limitations that we have.
Okay, we'll go ahead and,
Notify the
it
bidders.
notifies the contractors of the decision.
So I'll make a motion that we reject the
There's a
three
motion
bids
on the
received.
table for Bell Rose Lane Drainage Project to reject all bids because of over budget and to rescope the project. Motion by Mr. Blanchard.
Second.
Second by Mr. Mathern, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
As regarding Bertrandville, GIS is recommending to award the project to the low responsive bidder, Caranco, upon the board's, approval.
Who is it?
Excuse me,
Who's the low bidder?
Carano,
Curano?
Caranco, I'm sorry.
Spell it.
They're out of, I think it's Curanco,
Where are they out of?
Metairie, I believe. Their responsive bid was, 141,000 and the projected budget was 160.
Do they have all their applicable insurances and whatnot?
Everything they were responsive as far as, the law was pertaining.
Motion by Mr. Diaz to accept Karanko.
Second.
Second by, Mr. Mathern, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That carries.
So we will notify them and then set up a pre-construction meeting and establish a notice to proceed date.
We'll need a contract from them to review. So we'll have to negotiate that contract
Yeah.
prior to being able to proceed.
That should conclude the project.
That's it. Thank you, Dean.
Yes, sir.
Update from the Planners Design Group. Gerald Street Levy Project, ring levies in Fairport, Bell River.
Good evening, Joe Giller, DDG. On the permit, the last permit that we haven't, received, it went through public notice. The Office of Coastal Management did basically have us do a cost estimate for, wetland impacts versus land. If you remember, we maintained the section where we can do in situ borrow, even though we thought we probably would haul in material. They're pushing pretty hard for that with public notice, so we went ahead and made those changes, and pending your approval, we'll go ahead and submit, modify the permit app just to have, no in situ borrow, but basically the levy built with hauled in material. When you price in the additional wetlands, it was basically the same cost. And you get pushback from OCM to not impact the additional 3.4 acres.
So is this gonna reduce the 14 acres that the core?
Yeah, so your mitigation will be less,
How much
but you'll have to bring in material.
3 point something acres, you said, right?
Yeah. It was 3.4 acres of,
So we're still gonna be required to mitigate?
no, you won't,
Well,
we won't.
so no mitigation. at
So
all?
the benefits were, if you take from inside, you get technically lesser material because you're getting whatever you get there. But it's a lot less expensive. But you have to pay mitigation to impact that acreage. Or you shrink the footprint and come in with material and just stay on top of your levee.
So is that acreage only the footprint of the levee?
At this time, yeah, it'll only be the footprint of the levee plus a little on the outside to maintain it.
So we still have roughly 11 acres to mitigate. Or,
Yeah. Can we afford that?
well, it's gonna come out the project budget. It's gonna come out the project budget.
Well, I understand. It may come out of the budget, depending on how much it is.
Yeah.
Got any estimate, anything?
Cost on that? Estimated cost?
No, I apologize, I didn't know.
No, I just curious what mitigation,
It's gonna be
ain't
roughly 50,000 an acre impact.
50,000 acres, you think?
That's crazy. I know it, but I know.
It's a good business to be in. I don't know who,
I was 13,
11.
what's the math?
About $550,000.
How much you got for the project?
And,
You got $1 million?
Just lost half.
He lost half of it?
Well, I mean, 500,000.
Yeah. Oh, my God.
which,
Just once we get the final
yeah,
word from them, then we'll
we
know.
know, yeah.
so if you'd like, I'll email you a copy of the breakdown. Or I can bring it next meeting, copy of the breakdown for what we expect the wetlands to cost and the amount.
Yeah, that is all it is.
All right, cool. But I mean, regardless, are you all good with submitting that change to the permit and just keeping it rolling? Should be the final thing. They should bless it after that.
Sure.
Yes, yes.
I'll make a motion that we continue, and that's taking out the,
The insight to borrow, yeah, instead of borrowing adjacent to the containment dike, I mean, to the levee, you're gonna have to bring in your own material, but you're gonna pay less mitigation.
What's the motion?
to modify the permit to not have any insight to borrow.
Motion to modify the permit by Mr. Blanchard,
Second.
second by Mr. Diaz, all in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Green levy?
We submitted the report to you about a month ago, waiting on comments. Everything else, you have the other permits, everything else is complete.
So what we waiting on? Comments from,
You have the report. It was, we marked it as preliminary pending any reviews from, if you had any questions or.
I need to take a look at that because I missed it. All right, when can we get together on that, Joe?
Next week.
That way we get going, get moving.
Well, I guess, is next week good for you or?
Yeah, it's fine, anytime.
I'll reach out an email and put some dates on it. We can schedule something.
All right, good.
All right, that's it.
All I got.
Good deal. Thank you.
Thank you.
Is it Infinity?
He just, he's gonna try to call in on his phone. He's just leaving the office.
All right, we'll move on. If he calls in, we'll.
Yeah, I don't know that we really need to have him in to have the update, though.
All right.
He hadn't had any actionable change, since the only thing that has changed since our last meeting was, we were notified after our special meeting that, the Water Sector Commission did not plan on having a December 10th meeting that they told us to be ready for. So I wrote a letter to Representative Zarang requesting that they have a meeting to hear it. And, I spoke yesterday with Ms. Bailey at South Central Planning, and she is trying to reach out to them to see why we didn't get a response back yet. Pat, do you have anything to add on that? I don't know if you're familiar with that one.
That's exactly what I was gonna say. In fact, I might even reiterate that.
That's right.
Okay.
All right. Is he on the phone?
No, I was gonna text him. He's right there. Oh, I'll try.
Hello,
Mm-hmm.
can you hear me? Normally I'd leave the office at 5 and I'd log in from the house. But I don't have any update. We're still waiting on some front-end documents from Ebony. We met with her this week to try and help her out with that. Other than that, once that's done, we should be ready for bids.
Perfect.
Yep.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Update from Council Grants Coordinator.
Good evening. Constant Canal, as Dwayne stated earlier, the H&H study was submitted on December 4th, and OCD confirmed that it's under review. ELOS has completed a comparison of files to align the hard copy files with the electronic ones. Bayou St. Vincent Parish met with OCD on November 26th. After the meeting, the parish president, OCD, and ELOS met to confirm a strategy for moving forward with the next RFQ for engineering services. ELOS is drafting an RFQ. They're working with OCD to clarify deadlines since the November meeting minutes do not match the last extension request approved by OCD. ELOS is completing an update of policies and plans to have it ready for approval in January of 2025.
Good. No actions taken. Thank you, ma'am. Any questions for her? Or none, we go to the next item. Update from South Central Planning Development Committee. Mr. Pat Gordon.
Yes, sir. Pat Gordon, South Central Planning. How y'all doing tonight?
Great. Good.
I think that Rayetta handed out to y'all the updated list, the Excel list for tonight, the highlighted issues. Items were the ones that have changed somewhat. I believe that tonight you will be selecting an engineer for the Belrose walking track. That's on the agenda later on. Hopefully they'll do so we can move forward with that. Regarding the water sector, I'm not in total agreement with the engineer waiting on Ebony. I think that, they need to provide some information. There seems to be some difference of opinion on who's doing the project management and who's doing the grant management. So we're doing the grant management, they're doing the project management. So we need to get that straight going forward. There's a difference. Once you hire that engineer, he's responsible to put these estimated costs together, not the grant manager. So, but we're going to talk to him tomorrow.
Good.
Also, CJ just indicated to me that he's going to have the meets and bounds for the DOTD's review for the DePrantee Park. We've been waiting on that. So that's going to be ready tomorrow, and we'll get that in so that we can continue with the joint use agreement for the park. That's what's holding up everything. And once that is approved by DOTD, we can move forward with state parks and move forward with the rest of the project. Tomorrow, we're going to have a phone conference with OCD. Paul and Leanne has come back from medical team, and we're going to be working out all the outstanding information that's requested for the Resilient Communities Infrastructure Project for the courthouse. So that'll be done tomorrow. That doesn't mean we're going to get all the information in by tomorrow, but we're going to get a good feeling of where we need to go. Also, looks like the Belrose drainage was pulled tonight. You did award, hopefully you award the Bertrandville. And also, I'm working on the LGAP application. The Public Works Director has already submitted some estimates on 2 pickup trucks. And I've got logged into the portal, and we're just going to be waiting on the legislative delegation to give us the support letters, and we should have that in by next week. And that's all I have.
Any questions for Mr. Pat? Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Next item, update on fire hydrants project.
Yes, contracts were signed. We provided a breakdown of the cost per the unit prices for installation of new hydrants and basically replacement of existing damaged hydrants. We provided that to Mr. Paul's office, and as I understand it right now, he's waiting for a response back from
That
the
is
fire
correct.
departments.
I received, I think, 3 responses from the fire departments, and when I get all those responses, their priority list of hydrants, I will give it Mr. Savoy, and I guess I'll bring that to y'all, and we'll decide whether, we'll start the project.
Once we have that list, we're going to then issue a notice to proceed to the contractor and give it a couple.
We asked him this months ago.
Those lists have changed from the
Yeah,
German.
there's constant maintenance that goes on the hydrants, so some of them have already been addressed by the water company.
Correct. So I,
Right, and that's part of the reason we did it the way
we
we
want
did
everybody to be on
it.
the same page. I've talked to all the fire chiefs, so I've got 3 of them, another 2 should be in before the end of the week.
And that is why we did it the way we did it by unit prices, because of the fact it's a constant moving target. If the waterworks goes out and changes a hydrant on a Tuesday and doesn't, they're not required to notify the jury. So they go do that, or if something gets changed or repaired, or if a hydrant gets hit, then it gets bumped up on the list. It's a constant moving target.
How many hydrants we got allocated for this project?
According to the budget, if we use the worst case scenario, I think we estimated around 40 hydrants can be changed.
Mr. you having a pre-construction meeting before construction start?
I'm
Are
sorry.
you having a pre-construction meeting before the project starts?
Yes, once we have that list, we want the list so that when we do meet with the contractor's ready to go. So basically, when we have that pre-construction meeting with him, we want to be able to tell him, here's the addresses, let's get them in the ground and get done.
Have you coordinated with the water company yet?
Yes, I have been in contact with the waterworks. As far as they're aware that, hey, this is coming. But once I have the addresses, we're gonna nail down, the line sizes and everything what has to be done at each particular location. But they are aware of the project.
Can they be a part of that meeting?
Yes, they will be.
Okay.
They will be. That's written in the plans,
Okay.
that they're to be coordinated with at all meetings.
All right. See, the next item, request authorization for the president to sign addendum to contract with CJ Savoy Engineer for the fire hydrant project. What's that addendum?
You all had approved a not to exceed amount for the rebidding cost. Now that the project's been rebid and we're back on track, that cost was finalized, so they wanted to send those finalized numbers. So I think the finalized amount was $6,135. You had a not to exceed of $7,000.
You got a hard number?
$6,135. That was submitted in writing, in the addendum paperwork.
It should tab B
How many hydrants changed from the original scope?
We still have a master list, so there's no, the original scope, if memory serves me right, we had originally bid out around, we purchased close to 73 hydrants. However, it was always known that the budget was not gonna be there to necessarily install 73. We just got those in, because we were trying to maximize the amount of.
Motion to approve the president sign addendum for 6135
And identify the funding source.
and identify the funding source, which will be
Should come out of that fund,
line item appropriation.
Yeah.
Capital outlay. I'm not
capital
sure
out,
which one it was.
no, it wasn't capital outlay, it was general fund. Not our general fund,
No,
but okay.
so line item appropriation.
come out of that project.
It's one of
Yeah,
the
for that project.
It'd be 39 hydrants now.
Huh?
39 hydrants now.
All right, so I entertain a motion to approve 6135 line item appropriation. Is there a motion? Motion by Charles. Second by Mr. Mathern, all in favor? Opposed, motion carries. Update on Ag Center Roof Project.
I had met with Aaron Landry. I don't know if, concerning this project, I don't want to speak for him on this particular item, but where we are right now, the last investigation that we did going through that building, there were still active termites. I have spoken to several roofers. The issue that I'm having is the unit price that we received, or the bid price that was received, was close to around $8,000 per square for actually, that was changing the roof and changing the structure. The going price for removing and installing a metal roof right now is around $800 a square. Therefore, the price disparity there on the bids is astronomical. I cannot explain why that is. I think the first step, though, is we have to address the active termites. They have to be eradicated.
All the wooden structures in the roof, correct?
Yeah, everything
The
is
building-
wooden is
the
the
buil- The
roof.
building's a cinder block building.
Correct. The new
What
design-
happens to me, I mean, looking at the simplest thing to do is tear everything out, you have a cinder block building and put a new roof.
That is that is exactly what we're proposing to do. And that's why I'm saying that the price disparity in the bids is not justifiable.
I think we probably could tear it down ourselves, Aaron. Do we take the roof off that place?
We're gonna order.
I mean,
You can't, no, I'm just questioning.
But you gotta get the termites out.
You gotta get the termites
Termites are
out.
still coming up.
And that's part of the issue I'm running into. Every contractor that I brought out there, we're seeing active termite tracks. You know, and it's.
Are we treating that?
So-
Do we know?
So I've been in contact with LaJohns, and they went out and surveyed all of our stuff, including that. And they're gonna send a price to do a treatment, a proper termite treatment to eradicate the termites. We have also, the other building has a few termites in it too, so we're gonna take care of all of that at one time.
How often do we use a concession stand?
well, the restrooms will get used every time it's rented. As far as the actual kitchen section of the concession stand, probably, I would say at most 5 times a year.
Check it out. Check it out.
It's too much of a nice facility to do that.
I just know that in the last couple of weeks, there's a couple of people that have piqued interest in it to start hosting some horse shows. I don't know if he's been in contact with y'all office, Ms. Kim, about pricing and stuff, but
You gave him everything he had.
yeah, that was a guy that has expressed interest in coming here like very frequently for big things, but I mean, that's just.
We need to do something.
I mean,
It's been dragging on for.
The
way too
difficulty
long.
here is, gentlemen, and I hear, there has been question as to whether it would be more advantageous just to knock it down and start over. You've got, with the concession stand in the center and the 2 restrooms, you're looking at 1,700 square feet under air conditioning. The roof is a total of about 3,000 square foot because you have a porch that goes all the way around. It is much wider. If you could pare it down to bare bones and just do the 1,700 square feet. I mean, even if we're looking at, $200 a square foot and, to buy a metal building, put a foundation and put it up, I think you're still in excess of what would be the norm for just, the norm here would be to just take the roof structure off and put it back on. However, I can't explain, the disparity with the bids that we've got. In talking to individual roofing companies, when I bring that price up, they go, oh, yeah, we'll run out there and do it. Fact is, it was put out to bids and they didn't bid it. And the ones we got, that was the lowest rate.
I'll propose that, right up specs, to remove the curtain roof. Put on a new roof.
That is the project that's out to bids.
You also have the hood system, the commercial hood in there.
I understand.
And isn't the air conditioning on the roof also?
We were able to, what we did with
It's
the
not
air
just simply
condition, no, with
turning
the
it
air conditioned system, we were able to get the air conditioned system out, with Triple B. They went out and removed it for, I think it was about a $500 charge and get it, and they're storing it, so it'll be ready to go back in. But to answer your question, yes, we'd have to go back and put the ductwork back in. The proposal is to, at the time that building was designed, to fire rate the kitchen and the hood system and everything from the remainder of the building, which was required. We had the cinder block structure. And then, of course, at the time, the most cost-effective was the timber roof structure. We had a fire rating between there. The proposal is to get rid of all of the fire rating, help reduce the cost, and go back with a total metal structure. Therefore, we wouldn't be standing here talking about termites again. And it also is more cost effective because we don't have to put the fire rating in if we go with an all metal structure, because then it becomes all non-combustible. So that is our proposal. I think it's a good proposal. I think we got a good set of plans. We just gotta we've gotta eradicate the termites, because right now, the contractors are going out there and they see active termites and they don't even wanna get, I see it as a deterrent because they're not even wanting to get involved. It's like opening a can of worms that they don't wanna touch.
So you telling me the first move is eradicate the termite?
Yes, sir.
We got a contract and you're working on it?
LeJohn is, like I said, I've been in contact with them. They've surveyed the buildings. We're working on pricing right now to treat it.
So we're gonna get rid of termites. We'll kick the can down the road a little bit further for now, because that's done. Then we're gonna revisit.
Yes, sir.
I will let you know,
Doesn't make
Joel,
sense.
as soon as it's done.
I don't understand why the contractors are concerned about termites if they're
Taking
removing
it
all
all
the
out.
wood.
Well, you gotta realize they're going in and they're looking at the lawn. You see, when you walk in the building and you see active termite tracks going up all of the restroom facility, all of the sink facilities, all of the interior, which currently under their contract, once they remove that roof, they are under contract to protect those interior facilities. Well, if they're seeing active termites that are eating up the sinks and the other structures inside the building, it becomes a deterrent, because in their mind, that becomes a finger pointing process. They don't want to get down the road and say, oh, well, I'm gonna have, the sink fell over and somebody's gonna claim that that was because the roof was off and it rained. In any case, the termites are gonna continue to eat the structure, and once the roof structure is gone, and they've already started, they're attacking the interior. They're attacking anything that's timber on the inside. That's the toilet partitions, the sink countertops, everything.
So that building never had termite treatment before?
It had an original termite treatment on the slab.
No, so I requested it maybe 2.5 years ago. And the previous people hired pest control, came out and drilled it, treated the termites. And it appeared that they went away, but no, it continued on. And when LeJohn's went out and done the survey, they recommended some other things that would be more appropriate. And I wanted to ask, are the cinder blocks solid field?
Some,
Because that would prevent
not all. So like every fourth block, you have a steel rod that goes to the top. That block is filled with concrete.
so would it be advisable to fill them all so we can stop
They still won't get it.
They're still gonna come up.
Well-
They'll come up the exterior, they'll come up the interior. I mean, yes, that is, I mean, it wouldn't hurt. Is that gonna stop the termites from coming up the building? No.
Gotta get rid of
So they're
termites.
tearing up that building, what about others? How about the other buildings, Jason?
So we have some termite problems right now at the courthouse and the back wall that we just rebuilt.
I'm talking about the facility next
So
to
do we have an active contract with a termite company?
Yes,
So
Harris is carried over, but, I guess I'm gonna say it right, Johnny's recommended some more appropriate treatments that previously should have been applied.
So if we get any new damage, are they liable for it?
They haven't stated in their contract that they are liable for the damages, because I've asked several times, do you have a copy of the existing contract? They can't provide it at this moment. They said their paperwork wasn't.
The contract for Harris.
Yes,
Yeah.
they were looking for the actual termite contract from Harris, but they haven't been able to locate it yet.
What action will take? The recommendation is get the, garden to the,
Get rid of termites.
Gotta get rid of
There is
termites.
termites, some recommendations from
all right,
Johnny.
get the termites, and we're gonna work on, in the meantime.
Get a contract.
We gotta have a plan. I mean, we've been dealing with this for too long. All right, thank you, Joseph. Update on courthouse renovation project. Any action?
We had a meeting, Mike and I met with, the judges and all the occupants of the courthouse and the sheriff, prior to tonight's meeting. And we just discussed our path forward and how we're gonna, I guess, engage the architect. So the first, part of it is to, use the LEGAP funds. So we're gonna, request that the architect meet with the clerk of court, assessor, registrar of voters to, address any specific concerns they have with this, initial renovation that was originally titled as the bathroom renovation. But,
they took that as a cosmetic renovation and not a operational renovation. So we're gonna ask them that they address the drainage issues, sewer issues that we have with this first phase. And then as far as for the RCIP funds that we've identified for it, I think in our meeting last week before last, there was a discussion about reducing the service area to satisfy low to moderate income criteria for the courthouse.
Correct, that application, I've submitted that application, I hadn't got any pushback on it, so I have another conference call with OCD tomorrow. So I have no more about that funding, but as of right now, it's in the process, so I say, I don't have a timetable on it. That's $877,000.
So Paul, just when Leroy saying low to mod, how much did the town play a part? Filling out that 100, that's I kind of figured that, okay.
Actually, I renamed the project from the Parish Courthouse to the Boardwalk Courthouse. That was from the recommendation of one of the OCD systems that helped me. So they paid 100%.
Kind of
I'll be honest with you.
Leroy, so do we need a request of scope change for Legat?
I'm not sure. I have to see what the existing scope was because it,
See what it says. Okay, I'm gonna pull it.
We do it next week.
The timetable, Leroy, I couldn't hear Paul. He said that the timetable is on the receipt of funds or the application for the RCI funds.
no, it's been applied for and we have a meeting tomorrow, a conference call with OCD tomorrow.
Yes. And then, so at that point, we may determine when we may get those dollars.
I doubt it.
It's
I
not.
can
gonna be
ask,
that
but I
fast.
doubt it. That doesn't move that fast,
It's
man.
not gonna be
Okay,
that
all right,
fast.
all right,
I can ask that question, but I can't guarantee you an answer.
okay.
We'll be lucky if we get money by this time next year.
I would agree with that.
All right, no action taken. Update on Tacopah Landing project? Any action? Any update? None? Next item, update on OEP permitting regarding individual sewer district boundary definitions.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know specifically with the, I had conversation with Mr. Leroy about this specific item on the agenda and, as far as to the way I went about, asking, finding out who was paying and who was not paying, it was, I got that district layer and these maps, that's proposed districts that were given from Public Works. So I went to the water plant and gave these maps to the ladies at the water plant and said, look at these maps, all the streets that are on these maps, these people are responsible paying in that sewer district. So that's what I did. So she said she did the best of her knowledge to add people, and it wasn't that many. She didn't give me a list. But as far as for any type of boundaries, I'm not aware of any boundaries other than these proposed maps that was given to us each time a project was done. And these are not as-bills, these are just proposals. So to say there's a specific set of boundaries, I cannot, that wasn't.
Ron's got to ask.
Ron, you have as-bills?
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's new to me.
Today.
Got it today.
So, I mean, if you're asking for us to come up with a set of new, like, boundaries to put on the assessor site or that type of thing, where like the lighting district boundaries or drainage district boundaries or?
Just so that we have a way that the public can access it to know what is in the district and what is not in the district.
Okay. I'd have to get with Miss Wendy, the assessor's
I would
office.
think maybe South Central Planning could help us with that. If we can give them the as-built, they might be able to map something out for us. They've been very helpful in the past with things like that.
That's correct.
Again, the only issue I have with that is this jury still hadn't made the motion to make everybody in district pay yet. Did y'all went through you went through the minutes? Did you find it in the minutes?
They discussed it.
So when you took it on your own to do what you did, it wasn't approved by the jury. And then you only got a few people that got added and not everybody. So when we do stuff, we need to do it in order. So when we do it, we get everybody added at one time and be approved by the jury. Cause I'm getting called from one or two people that got added and they don't know why they got added all of a sudden. They haven't been paying for years. They're not connected to the system. They're saying, so y'all went out there and went check. They wasn't connected to the system. But if I knew that, hey, look, the jury approved it, I can tell them, this is what the jury approved. Everybody in the district is gonna pay. We can't just go do things on our own.
I did not do this on my own, Mr. Card. I don't know if there was a motion or not, but I'm sure I was instructed by the jury to do this.
That was not what the jury instructed you to do. The jury instructed you to find out who was connected to the system who wasn't paying. That was all instructions. It was in the minutes.
We never approved that to go ahead and, I thought that was approved.
I thought it was in
No.
conjunction with the meter, the water meter rectification study. It was always the intent to find the individuals not connected to get them on board. That was always the
It
intent.
was the intent to find who was connected, but wasn't being charged. That was the intent.
But why will we not connect them and charge them?
Why was it not being charged?
Why will we not connect them and charge them if we found that they weren't connected?
No, because because what you're saying is, because we still hadn't made the motion yet to charge everybody that's in the district. We knew, we talked about the law being that everybody in the district should be paying. But the jury never made the decision to make everybody in the district pay. But we also knew that we had people connected to the system that was not being charged. And that's what we was going after. The ones that was connected, but not being charged.
First, I should have the resources or the manpower.
So how you check if they,
How you check
how you
that?
check if they hooked up?
How you check if they
How
hooked
you
up?
check?
How you know if they hooked up or not?
You gotta go to the tie-ins
We
and
don't
go
have the
check the see.
resources or the manpower
Yeah,
to
for
do
everybody
that.
in that district.
I thought the law states.
The assumption was at construction, they should have all been connected and they should have all been charged.
Well, that was years ago and that didn't happen.
Okay, but that
And
was, that's our authority to get them all on board.
but the jury at that time, I wasn't even on the jury at that time, but the jury at that time didn't make them all pay.
Well, I think what we found in the meeting that it was a law that they had to pay, no matter what.
I'll make a motion that once we identify the parcels that are within these sewer boundaries, and we identify them, that all of those parcels that have residential structures that are lived in are being charged the sewer fee.
Anyone that has water meter.
Well, if they have sewer, if they're producing sewer,
Yeah.
they need to be connected to the sewer plant.
It's gonna be charged.
That's my motion.
I thought we did that.
No, we didn't do that.
Forget what I said.
Well, I mean, it needs to.
Okay, well, if we're gonna go down this road, other things have to be discussed. If you find somebody that has their own private system,
To get.
who's gonna pay
They
that
get
charge?
charged.
They get charged.
They get charged.
But there's a law right here that states, and I had the law right here from the.
We'll get to that after my motion.
All right, motion by Mr. Blanchard stating that if you're in the district,
Within the boundaries.
within the boundaries, we're gonna charge you the store fee.
Right, as determined by the DHA sanitary.
All right, there's a motion by Mr. Blanchard on that effect. Can I get a second?
I'm not following what you mean as determined by DOT.
I can clear that. I just didn't want to put too much in while we had a motion on the floor.
Gotcha. Second.
Second.
Second by Mr. Diaz, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That motion carries.
The state sanitation code says that, everyone that can be serviced feasible by the sewer system must be connected by it. Justin and, Paul were working on it. They spoke with the sanitarians. She said anyone that's not connected to it, she's gonna issue them a 30-day notice that they must connect. And fill in their existing sewer system, if she determines that it's feasible by the state law.
What you got, Paul?
Well, the jury needs to come up with a plan of action or some type of protocols to follow. Because the question could be, who's gonna pay for those tie-ins? Who's gonna pay for those hookups, those type of things? Who's gonna pay for the plumbing that has to run from that house to our sewer system?
They will. Who says we
Wanna
have
make
to
sure
do
that
it?
y'all everything has to be discussed and on
That
board.
should have all been done back when it was construction took place.
Everything gonna come with a cost now.
Didn't have an option not to connect.
Yeah.
Everybody should have been connected.
Should have been connected.
There's no reason why they wasn't connected. Now they got caught, they're not connected, they liable.
They didn't get caught, Jeff. Let me tell you something.
Well,
You and mine was the only two jurors that was really on this board when all that took place. Okay, and guess what? Y'all did not make these people connect. Y'all gave them the option.
I don't remember giving them options.
Yes.
It was done wrongfully so, because state
That's
law
right.
requires them to be connected. So we're correcting that
So
now.
we're fixing it, moving forward.
Who's,
Next
You
item.
got- Aaron got
Request approval for
something.
pres-
Aaron got something, man.
Well, who's gonna expose the tie-ins?
They will. They're gonna have to hire a licensed plumber.
So they gotta get a permit.
Well, cause what I'm saying is, and he's right with exposing the tie-ins, cause I guess now, new house comes in whenever we go expose the tie-in.
Who goes in and expose it? We do?
We expose
We
the green
expose-
pipe under the roadway and the homeowner pays for the
For the plumber to do
installation.
all their connections.
Well,
Why
some
are
of
we
these
doing
houses,
that?
In our right of way.
In our right of way on the parish
On
road.
the parish roadway. The line's all under the parish
Yeah, all
road.
of, right.
We
Some of
exposed
these-
that line in
So
the
we have to
parish.
dig
road.
up the road?
Cut it. They cut the
but
road.
some of these houses might not need to cut into the thing. Some of these might have an outlet already there. They just chose not to tie in.
That's what, so maybe, then that's what I'm saying, there's an opportunity to,
I would think
if
that.
we not, if we don't have to, they can tie in to another tie-in Y and where two houses are together and there's different options. What I'm saying is, because I know the calls that will come about us going expose tie-ins. So, I mean, if y'all saying that it's the residents' responsibility, then just let me know. 'Cause
No,
Yeah,
we-
but they just can't go to our line without letting,
No,
without
they're
letting
gonna
us
have to
know.
have a
Yeah.
licensed
Certified
plumber.
plumber.
Yeah, you gotta have a license.
And our as-built drawing should identify there was a tie-in installed at the time of construction.
I don't see why that should be the parish's, responsibility to find the pipes, the line. It should be the licensed plumber. Whenever they get the permit, pick up the set of drawings, it's gonna be up to them.
So we're gonna provide that customer with a set of drawings based off that road. That's what you're saying?
And so
So
if
it should be.
they don't tie in, then sanitation gonna do the enforcement?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, the enforcement's not on the parish saying,
Yeah, so
she's the one that indicated she's gonna give them 30 days to tie in and
Okay.
backfill the existing. It's really out of our hands.
Any other discussion on this? Next item, request approval for the president and the secretary treasurer to sign the engineering contract with CJ Sawyer Consulting for the Bell Rose Walking Trail. And there's a resolution in your packet. I have a motion to approve.
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Mathern. Second by Mr. Blanchard, all in favor? Opposed? I'm sorry.
We got them last week.
Yes, we do. Next item, number 3. It ain't 12, I'm sorry. It's, it's 12. Request variance approval for communication tower at 5593 Highway 1, the Pointville to be placed 155 from years inhabitable dwelling instead of the required 600 feet. Ward 6. Ma'am.
She's supposed to be coming, I think that may be her, Miss Alexis. Yes, she can come up. She's coming to speak on behalf of the company.
Ms. Alexa. Name and who you represent.
Alexis Adams, SmartLink and AT&T.
All right, so y'all asking for a variance?
Correct.
Did anybody investigate this?
Mr. Jeff, I got a letter from, Mr. Claymore gave me from the landowners saying that they're, Uganda Blonde that they're consistent. This is being requested with consent of the landlord, Mr. Chris Manley, president of Uganda Blonde. So they're aware of the variance also. I think it's
The
an open
ordinance
air.
requires a 600-foot setback. The landowner that is the leaseor has a building that's within 600 feet. That's why they're requesting the setback. So it's not impacting any neighboring
And
property.
it's an open air tractor shed. It's not a, it's not a residential.
They
house.
good, the landowners good with it? Yeah. All right, motion to approve,
motion.
motion by Mr. Diaz, second by Mr. Blanchard, all in favor?
All right.
Madam, you work for AT&T?
Motion carries.
A vendor for AT&T.
Do you have any plans to come to the airport?
For what?
Got any upgrade that's coming to the airport area? Upgrade?
Tower wise.
Possibly, they're doing upgrades all over. I can find out. Right now, I'm doing new site builds.
Myron, I can answer you. I know landowners in Pierport have been contacted about possible leases for towers.
No, I know that. I know
Upgrades,
some of the
though.
property, but no, I didn't hear that was coming up yet.
No, they hadn't applied for a permit yet.
You mean existing towers for upgraded or new towers?
New towers.
New towers. This is the only one I'm handling in this parish.
Right.
Thank you, ma'am. Next item, request variance approval to allow for application of commercial building permits for a communication tower at 5593 Highway 1, Pointville, with South Central Planning to certain of compliance with any applicable codes and regulations in lieu. Parish engineer reviewed by Assumption Parish. Ward 6.
I think what he's requesting is a
Piggyback.
variance from the parish engineer, since we don't have a parish
And
engineer.
let South Central,
Something planners gonna do the. the
Right,
work.
so I spoke to Justin, but at the time that the ordinance was written, we didn't have a permitting process with South Central Planning to review construction of the communications tower, so that's what his variance was about. He is gonna come back to us at a future meeting to modify the ordinance, but for this one, he was asking for a variance of
Yeah,
it.
that would have taken more time, so that's why he was requesting this adjustment for the sake of essence of time.
got it. Motion to approve variance by Mr. Diaz, second by Mr. Mathern, all in favor?
All right.
Motion, any opposed, motion carried. Number 15, approve communication tower permit application for Smart Link LLC on behalf of Vertical Bridge at same address, 5593 Highway one.
This is the application. Correct.
That's the
This is the
application.
application, yeah.
Motion to approve the application,
Motion.
Mr. Thurman, second by Mr. Pro, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Any other items? Motion adjourned?
Motion.
No move. Any opposed? Motion made and second. All in favor?
Good.
Thank you.
Meeting adjourned. Meeting, request to go back into, offer recess. You ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
We don't have, but we just listen to you.
Then you're gonna listen to me.
We're
All
gonna
right,
listen to
got a motion from
It's
Mr.
2 me out like
Nakam
normal.
to adjourn the recess of the finance committee meeting and resume it.
you. Yes.
Second.
Second by,
I'm not on.
second by Mr.
Me,
Alcon.
me, yeah.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Finance committee meeting resumed.
Here we go. That's the fact.
Okay. Yeah,
You can go.
yeah, packets are coming, but I can get started by
Yes,
then.
go
Okay. The first thing I'm gonna start reading to you is the November amendments, even though we are in December, we started working on these numbers, so we're gonna stick with them as identified as a November amendment. General fund, total revenues, 2,729,555. Total expenditures, $2,493,671. Transfers in, 52,999. Transfers out, 693,497. Beginning fund balance, 2,140,906. Ending fund balance, 1,736,292. 1% sales tax, total revenues, $3,392,512. Total expenditures, $1,619,091. Transfers out, $1,011,124. Beginning fund balance, $5,509,875. Ending fund balance, $6,812,172. Road and bridge, total revenues, $256,764. Total expenditures, $1,439,623. Transfers in, $994,400. Beginning fund balance, $1,637,782. Ending fund balance, $1,449,323. Off-duty officer fund, total revenues, $33,454. Total expenditures, $8,037. Transfers out, $26,000. Beginning fund balance, $20,583. Ending fund balance, $20,000. Criminal court fund, total revenues, $199,627. Total expenditures, $322,462. Transfers in, $146,000. Transfers out, $11,583. Beginning fund balance, $1. Ending fund balance, $11,583. Library fund, total revenues, $1,532,835. Total expenditures, $922,410. Beginning fund balance, $3,370,735. Ending fund balance, $3,981,160. Excellent, budget message. Budget message, yeah. Road lighting district number 1, total revenues, $200,756. Total expenditures, $78,725. Beginning fund balance, $1,057,012. Ending fund balance, $1,179,043. Consolidated road lighting number 1, total revenues, $114,358. Total expenditures, $53,856. Beginning fund balance, $402,942. Ending fund balance, $463,444. OEP federal grants, total revenues, 1,123,814. Total expenditures, 1,270,891. Transfers in, $389,205. Transfers out, $92,689. Beginning fund balance, $2,985,019. Ending fund balance, $3,134,458. Office of Emergency Preparedness, total revenues, $196,904. Total expenditures, $402,148. Transfers in, $215,000. Beginning fund balance, $37,976. Ending fund balance, $47,732. Road fund, total revenues, $1,870,375. Total expenditures, $2,952,398. Transfers out $75,000. Beginning fund balance, $3,617,718. Ending fund balance, $2,460,695. Drainage, total revenues, $972,494. Total expenditures, $1,327,565. Transfers in, $18,767. Transfers out, $141. Beginning fund balance, $1,767,614. Ending fund balance, $1,431,169. 911 communications, total revenues, $235,227. Total expenditures, $243,318. Beginning fund balance, $486,943. Ending fund balance, $478,852. Fairport Bell River Fire District, total revenues, $334,392. Total expenditures, $333,392. Transfers out, $1,000. Beginning fund balance, $229,853. Ending fund balance, the same. Hankerville Fire District, total revenues, $334,800. Total expenditures, $333,800. Transfers out of $1,000. Beginning and ending fund balance, $229,837. Napoleonville Fire District, total revenues, $295,816. Total expenditures, $294,816. Transfers out $1,000. Beginning and ending fund balance, $202,962. Bayou Lewis Fire District, total revenues, $179,403. Total expenditures, $178,403. Transfers out $1,000. Beginning and ending fund balance, $122,250. Council on Aging, total revenues, $1,245,481. Total expenditures, $1,274,250. Beginning fund balance, $835,566. Ending fund balance, $806,797. Labradorville Fire District, total revenues, $425,396. Total expenditures, $424,396. Transfers out of $1,000. Beginning and ending fund balance, $163,732. Public Buildings Fund, total revenues, $410,886. Total expenditures, $442,743. Beginning fund balance, $1,165,016. Ending fund balance, $1,133,159. Louisiana Cooperative Extension Service, total revenues, $294,896. Total expenditures, $270,502. Beginning fund balance, $1,067,072. Ending fund balance, $1,091,466. Library Board Funds, total revenue, $17,936. Total expenditures, $19,977. Beginning fund balance, $42,237. Ending fund balance, $40,196. Lower Bell River Drainage District, total revenues, $2,101. Total expenditures, $1,107. Beginning fund balance, $11,340. Ending fund balance, $12,334. Labradorville Drainage District number 3, total revenues, $3,151. Total expenditures, $242. Beginning fund balance, $27,929. Ending fund balance, $30,838. Murray Drainage District, total revenues, $466. Total expenditures, $5. Beginning fund balance, $11,639. Ending fund balance, $12,100. Part-time Drainage District, total revenues, $1,032. Total expenditures, $5. Beginning fund balance, $25,604. Ending fund balance, $26,631. Landry Subdivision Drainage District, total revenues, $23,221. Total expenditures, $15,299. Beginning fund balance, $31,958. Ending fund balance, $39,880. Oak Ridge Subdivision Drainage, total revenues, $6,338. Total expenditures, 8,111. Beginning fund balance, 23,752. Ending fund balance, 21,979. Northwest LA 70. Total revenue, 6,122. Total expenditures, 9,906. Beginning fund balance, 10,310. Ending fund balance, 6,526. Knott's Drainage District, total revenues, 3,629. Total expenditures, 3,414. Beginning fund balance, 20,798. Ending fund balance, 21,013. LA 70 to Lee Drive, total revenues, 11,979. Total expenditures, 3,741. Beginning fund balance, 38,643. Ending fund balance, 46,881. Calpart Bell River Veterans Park, total revenues, 399,982. Total expenditures, 287,457. Transfers in, 9,173. Transfers out, 80,338. Beginning fund balance, 387,244. Ending fund balance, 428,604. Assumption Gravity Drainage number 2, total revenues, 18,537. Total expenditures, 16,891. Beginning fund balance, 246,468. Ending fund balance, 248,114. Assumption Gravity Drainage District number 5, total revenues, 2,346. Total expenditures, $232. Transfers in, 4,875. Beginning fund balance, 41,145. Ending fund balance, 48,134. Bertrandville Rec District, total revenues, $98. Total expenditures, $15. Beginning fund balance, 2,457. Ending fund balance, 2,540. Bayou Calport North Drainage District, total revenues, $743. Total expenditure, $715. Beginning fund balance, 2,158. Ending fund balance, 2,186. Calport Settlements Drainage District, total revenues, 1,428. Total expenditures, 1,448. Beginning fund balance, $4,048. Ending fund balance, $4,028. Gomesa 2021 bonds. Total revenues, 368,248. Total expenditures, 565,141. Transfers in, 106,219. Transfers out, 610,680. Beginning fund balance, 7,590,955. Ending fund balance, 6,889,601. Lower Texas Drainage District, total revenues, 5,656. Total expenditures, 1,962. Beginning fund balance, 18,970. Ending fund balance, 22,664. Ward 1 Recreation District, total revenues, 24,133. Total expenditures, 25,354. Beginning fund balance, 17,731. Ending fund balance, 16,510. The opioid abatement fund, total revenues, 71,411. Total expenditures, 0. Beginning fund balance, 158,149. Ending fund balance, 229,560. Lowest Drainage District, total revenue, 72,418. Total expenditures, 98,550. Transfers out, 18,767. Beginning fund balance, 142,480. Ending fund balance, 97,581. Lowest Reg District, total revenues, 271,950. Total expenditures, 273,466. Transfers out, $5,000. Beginning fund balance, 512,474. Ending fund balance, 505,958. Calpart Bell River Recreation Bond Sinking Fund, total revenues, $110. Total expenditures, 99,175. Transfers in, 99,175. Beginning fund balance, $82. Ending fund balance, $192. Solid Waste, total revenues, $2,600,614. Total expenditures, $2,745,027. Beginning fund balance, $370,391. Ending fund balance, $230,414. Inclusive of the enterprise fund adjustments, ending fund balance, $232,295. OEP Special Industry, total revenues, $102,071. Total expenditures, $100,466. Beginning fund balance, $96,051. Ending fund balance, $122,828. Inclusive of the enterprise fund adjustments, ending fund balance, $418,971. Mosquito abatement, total revenues, $354,637. Total expenditures the same, beginning fund balance, 221,376, ending fund balance, 219,497, inclusive of the enterprise fund adjustments, ending fund balance, 384,709. Consolidated Sewer District, total revenues, 111,898. Total expenditures, $223,305. Transfers in, $59,000. Beginning fund balance, 88,200. Ending fund balance, 35,793. Bell River Recreation Bond Construction Fund, project budget. No amendments. We're gonna skip that one. Okay, Community Development Fund, total revenues, $2,367. Total expenditures, $331,228. Transfers in, $340,108. Beginning fund balance, $18,187. Ending fund balance, $29,434. Energy Assistance Program, total revenues, $236,108. Total expenditures the same, beginning and ending fund balance, 0. Emergency Food and Shelter, total revenues, $8,279. Expenditures the same, beginning and ending fund balance, 0. Section 8 Housing, total revenues, $666,720. Total expenditures, $668,023. Beginning fund balance, $49,742. Ending fund balance, $48,439. CDBG DRP, Poinciana Canal, total revenue, $79,425. Expenditures the same, beginning and ending fund balance, 0. CDBG DRP, Bayou St. Vincent, total revenues, $1,000. Expenditures the same, beginning and ending fund balance, 0. Capital outlay, repaving of Lee Drive, total revenues, $25,000. Expenditures the same, beginning and ending fund balance, 0. Capital outlay, Platteville Drainage, total revenues, $535,592. Expenditures, $752,333. Transfers in, $216,741, beginning and ending fund balance, 0. Capital outlay, Assumption Parish Pumps and Drainage, 0 activity. Capital outlay, Shell Beach Boat Landing, total revenues, $490,775. Total expenditures the same, beginning and ending fund balance, 0. Community Services Block Grant, total revenues, $77,076. Expenditures the same, beginning and ending fund balance, 0. Community Agency Advisory Board, no activity, beginning and ending fund balance, $14. Line item appropriation, fire hydrants, total revenues, 0. Total expenditures, $6,135. Transfers in, $6,135, beginning and ending fund balance, 0. LaGap, raw water intake, 0 activity. LaGap Courthouse renovations, total revenue, $6,000. Expenditures, $6,032. Transfers in, $32, beginning and ending fund balance, 0. LaGap trucks and enclosed trailer, 0 activity. LaGap Community Water Enrichment Fund, elevated storage tanks rehab, no activity. Low income water assistance, total revenue, $10,227. Expenditures the same, beginning and ending fund balance, 0. No amendments for land and water conservation. No amendments for American Recovery. So I present to you the November 2024 amendments for your approval.
Motion approved.
Motion approved by Mr. Nakam. The 2024, the November 2024 amended budget, second by Mr. Alcorn. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Next up is Katie. Okay, Katie. Katie, can you go make 9 copies of this, please? Yeah. Thank you. Okay, the next proposal is going to be the 2025 proposed budgets. All right, general fund, total revenues, $2,677,946. Total expenditures, $2,704,512. Transfers in, $47,142. Transfers out, $699,732. Beginning fund balance, $1,736,292. Ending fund balance, $1,057,136. 1% sales tax, total revenues, $3,925,052. Total expenditures, $1,867,554. Transfers out $1,012,802. Beginning fund balance $6,812,172. Ending fund balance $7,856,868. Road and bridge, as you all can see by the looks of the 1% sales tax is constantly on the uptick right now, which is good. Road and bridge, total revenues, $249,246. Total expenditures, $1,405,425. Transfers in $994,400. Beginning fund balance, $1,449,323. Ending fund balance, $1,287,544. Off-duty officer fund, total revenues, $34,292. Total expenditures, $10,040. Transfers out, $24,000. Beginning fund balance, $20,000. Ending fund balance, $20,252. Criminal court fund, total revenues, $200,430. Total expenditures, $334,560. Transfers in, $144,000. Transfers out, $10,726. Beginning fund balance, $11,583. Ending fund balance, $10,727. As you can see from the criminal court fund, another big kicker to general fund. Library fund, total revenues, $1,532,620. Total expenditures, $1,101,508. Beginning fund balance, $3,981,160. Ending fund balance, $4,412,272. Road lighting number one, total revenues, $200,756. Total expenditures, $78,733. Beginning fund balance, $1,179,043. Ending fund balance, $1,301,066. Consolidated road lighting number one, total revenues, $114,358. Total expenditures, $54,860. Beginning fund balance, $463,444. Ending fund balance, $522,942. OEP federal grants, total revenues, $1,156,124. Total expenditures, $1,939,665. Transfers in, $436,367. Beginning fund balance, $3,134,458. Ending fund balance, $2,787,284. Office of Emergency Preparedness, total revenues, $830,052. Expenditures, $1,039,352. Transfers in, $210,000. Beginning fund balance, $47,732. Ending fund balance, $48,432. Road fund, total revenues, $1,870,392. Total expenditures, $362,642. Transfers out, $75,000. Beginning fund balance, $2,460,695. Ending fund balance, $3,893,445. Drainage, total revenues, $966,880. Total expenditures, $1,066,918. Transfers in, $6,150. Beginning fund balance, $1,431,169. Ending fund balance, $1,337,281. 911 communications, total revenues, $235,227. Total expenditures, $308,805. Beginning fund balance, $478,852. Ending fund balance, $405,274. Delport Bell River Fire District, total revenues, $334,392. Total expenditures, $333,392. Transfers out, $1,000. Beginning fund balance, $229,853. Ending fund balance the same. Pankerville Fire District, total revenues, $334,800. Expenditures, $333,800. Transfers out, $1,000. Beginning fund balance, $229,837. Ending fund balance the same. Napoleonville Fire District, total revenues, $295,816. Total expenditures, $294,816. Transfers out, $1,000. Beginning and ending fund balance, $202,962. Bayou Lewis Fire District, total revenues, $179,403. Expenditures, $178,403. Transfers out, $1,000. Beginning and ending fund balance, $122,250. Council on Aging, total revenues, $1,245,481. Expenditures, $1,274,792. Beginning fund balance, $806,797. Ending fund balance, $777,466. Labadie Fire District, total revenues, $257,654. Expenditures, $256,654. Transfers out, $1,000. Beginning and ending fund balance, $163,732. Public Buildings Fund, total revenues, $412,611. Total expenditures, $470,736. Beginning fund balance, $1,133,159. Ending fund balance, $1,075,034. Louisiana Cooperative Extension Office, total revenues, $294,896. Total expenditures, $275,415. Beginning fund balance, $1,091,466. Ending fund balance, $1,110,947. Library Board Funds, total revenue, $6,820. Total expenditures, $7,315. Beginning fund balance, $40,196. Ending fund balance, $39,701. Lower Bell River Drainage District, total revenues, $2,101. Total expenditures, $1,258. Beginning fund balance, $12,334. Ending fund balance, $13,177. Lavendale Drainage District, total revenues, $3,151. Total expenditures, $243. Beginning fund balance, $30,838. Ending fund balance, $33,746. Monterey Drainage District, total revenues, $466. Total expenditures, $20. Beginning fund balance, $12,100. Ending fund balance, $12,546. Part-Time Drainage District, total revenues, $1,032. Total expenditures, $20. Beginning fund balance, $26,631. Ending fund balance, $27,643. Landry Subdivision Drainage District, total revenues, $23,221. Total expenditures, $19,220. Beginning fund balance, $39,880. Ending fund balance, $43,881. Oak Ridge Drainage District, total revenues, $6,338. Total expenditures, $6,113. Beginning fund balance, $21,979. Ending fund balance, $22,204. Northwest Side LA 70, total revenue, $6,122. Total expenditures, $7,996. Beginning fund balance, $6,526. Ending fund balance, $4,652. Knott's Drainage District, total revenues, $3,629. Total expenditures, $4,959. Beginning fund balance, $21,013. Ending fund balance, $19,683. LA 70 to Lee Drive, total revenues, $11,979. Total expenditures, $4,235. Beginning fund balance, $46,881. Ending fund balance, $54,625. Veterans Park, total revenues, $631,014. Total expenditures, $560,852. Transfers in, $90,000. Transfers out, $311,823. Beginning fund balance, $428,604. Ending fund balance, $276,943. Assumption Gravity Drainage District number 2, total revenues, $18,537. Total expenditures, $390. Beginning fund balance, $248,114. Ending fund balance, $266,261. Assumption Gravity Drainage District, Platteville, total revenues, $2,346. Total expenditures, $232. Beginning fund balance, $48,134. Ending fund balance, $50,248. Bertrandville Rec District, total revenues, $98. Total expenditures, $15. Beginning fund balance, $2,540. Ending fund balance, $2,623. Bayou Pierre Port Drainage District, total revenue, $743. Total expenditures, $715. Beginning fund balance, $2,186. Ending fund balance, $2,214. Pierre Settlement, total revenues, $1,428. Total expenditures, $1,495. Beginning fund balance, $4,028. Ending fund balance, $3,961. Gomesa Bonds, total revenues, $346,372. Total expenditures, $3,284,093. Transfers out, $1,010,777. Beginning fund balance, $6,889,601. Ending fund balance, $2,941,103. Lower Texas Drainage District, total revenues, $5,656. Total expenditures, $2,097. Beginning fund balance, $22,664. Ending fund balance, $26,223. Ward 1 Recreation District, total revenues, $24,133. Total expenditures, $27,462. Beginning fund balance, $16,510. Ending fund balance, $13,181. The opioid abatement fund, total revenues, $73,747. Expenditures, 0. Beginning fund balance, $229,560. Ending fund balance, $303,307. By Lewis Drainage District, total revenues, $72,329. Total expenditures, $83,850. Transfers out, $6,150. Beginning fund balance, $97,581. Ending fund balance, $79,910. Bayou Lewis Rec District, total revenues, $271,950. Expenditures, $234,006. Beginning fund balance, $505,958. Ending fund balance, $543,902. Kepler Bell River Bond Sinking Fund, total revenues, $110. Total expenditures, $98,933. Transfers in, $98,933. Beginning fund balance, $192. Ending fund balance, $302. Solid Waste Fund, total revenues, $3,113,090. Total expenditures, $2,815,367. Beginning fund balance, $230,414. Ending fund balance, $530,018. Special Industry, total revenues, $83,776. Total expenditures, $90,232. Beginning fund balance, $122,828. Ending fund balance, $141,554. With the enterprise zone adjustments, ending fund balance, $412,515. Mosquito abatement, total revenues, $339,916. Total expenditures, $344,420. Beginning fund balance, $219,497. Ending fund balance, $156,743, inclusive of the enterprise fund adjustments. Ending fund balance, $380,205. Consolidated Sewer District, total revenues, $148,933. Total expenditures, $244,417. Transfers in, $95,000. Beginning fund balance, $35,793. Ending fund balance, $35,309. Okay, Pellport, recreation budget. The total budget is $1,003,611. Expenditures, $170,045. Beginning fund balance of 0. Ending fund balance of $1 million. Community Development Fund, total revenues, $2,384. Total expenditures, $308,898. Transfers in, $297,551. Beginning fund balance, $29,434. Ending fund balance, $20,471. Energy Assistance Program, total revenues, $174,999. Total expenditures, $174,999. Beginning and ending fund balance, 0. Emergency Food and Shelter, total revenues, $8,333. Expenditures the same, beginning and ending fund balance, 0. Section 8 Housing, total revenues, $688,883. Total expenditures, $693,190. Beginning fund balance, $48,439. Ending fund balance, $44,132. CDBG Disaster Recovery, Quincy Canal. Total revenues, $3,626,162. Expenditures the same, beginning and ending fund balance, 0. Bayou St. Vincent, total revenues, $9,079,000. Expenditures the same, beginning and ending fund balance, 0. Repaving of Lee Drive, 0 activity. This has been complete. Platteville Drainage, total revenues, $1,168,958. Expenditures, $1,576,701. Transfers in, $407,743, beginning and ending fund balance, 0. Assumption Parish Pumps and Drainage, total revenues, $467,500. Total expenditures, $634,167. Transfers in, $166,667, beginning and ending fund balance, 0. Shell Beach Boat Launch, total revenues, 136,725. Expenditures, 175,892. Transfers in, 39,167. Beginning and ending fund balance, 0. Community Services Block Grant, total revenues, 63,784. Expenditures, the same, beginning and ending fund balance, 0. Community Action Agency Advisory Board, 0 activity, beginning and ending fund balance, $14. Fire hydrants line item appropriation, total revenues, 276,662. Expenditures, the same, beginning and ending fund balance, 0. The Gap raw water intake, total revenues, 125,000. Expenditures, the same, beginning and ending fund balance, 0. Courthouse renovations, total revenues, $94,000. Expenditures, the same, beginning and ending fund balance, 0. Truck and enclosed trailer, total revenue, 75,000. Expenditures, the same, beginning and ending fund balance, 0. Elevated storage tanks rehab, total revenue, 140,000. Expenditures, the same, beginning and ending fund balance, 0. Low income water assistance program, 0 activities. Land and water conservation is project budget, total revenues, $1 million. Expenditures at 1,841,500. Transfers in, 841,500. Beginning and ending fund balance, 0. American Rescue Act, project budget, total revenues, $4,252,070. Expenditures, 341,263. Beginning and ending fund balance, 0. I'm sorry, that's gonna, be a transfer out as well, that 3,910,807. American Rescue Water Act, Water Sector Program, project budget, total revenues, 2,622,520. Expenditures, 6,533,327. Transfers in, 3,910,807. Beginning and ending fund balance, 0. Repaving of Lee Drive, total revenues, $1 million. Expenditures, the same, beginning and ending fund balance, 0. Gilbert Patty Rehab, total revenues, 600,000. Expenditures, 600,000. Beginning and ending fund balance, 0. I present this to you in form of a motion. I also have a budget message for you all to review. It just highlights some of the bigger funds. We did have communication previously. It's still out for debate whether this jury is going to approve increases for employees. And we also need to sit down at the beginning of the year and talk about the general fund and transfers and what we can do to work.
Other than that,
Other than that, sales tax is great. The new governor is going to have some sales tax reform, and there's going to be some restructure. There's going to be some loss in revenue on our millage side, in speaking to the assessor's office based on the inventory tax and things that he's changing. For us, it's going to be minimal. I think it's going to be greater for other agencies, but that is going to be coming down the wire in 2025. It is approved, correct.
I get a motion to accept the 2025
yes, sir. So moved.
proposed budget. Motion by Mr. Nakam, second by Mr. Bro. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Motion adjourned to finance committee.
So, Mr. Minette, second by Mr. Alcorn. Mr. Bro is not on finance
Oh, okay,
committee.
well, okay.
You thought it was. Motion adjourned.
Motion adjourned by Mr. Nakam, second by Mr. Alcorn. Finance committee meeting adjourned.
All right.
We'll now get our regular meeting, the Social Parish Police Jury for Wednesday, December 11th. Let the record reflect all members are present. At this time, I know we have some students present with us. I'd like the 3 AHS students that are here to come up and lead us in our pledge after we have our prayer. God, who teaches us by sending the light of the Holy Spirit into our hearts, grant that by the light of that Spirit, right judgment may be ours, and that we may ever find joy in his guidance. Amen. Amen. On you.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Are there any corrections to the minutes of November 26th regular meeting or the December 4th special meeting? Hearing none, now ask for a motion to approve those minutes. Motion by Mr. Diaz. Second by Mr. Mathern. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. Public comment period. At this time, we have public comment for any item on the agenda.
Come on up.
Sure. Is it appropriate time to talk about what was on the agenda on the committee meeting?
Sure, you can.
So, on the drainage, I'll tell you, our manager has been very supportive of giving us all the equipment that we need, which what he's able to do with the money y'all allow him to do it with. And it's been very successful. We brought in a couple of new operators. We lost them. One of them was a license problem, okay? So I'm minus an operator there. There's another operator that is not here right now. So it brings us down without doing the drainage smaller, way smaller than what it was before. When you have a crew of only 4 and there's 2 missing and you're down to 2. So, and when I took this over for the drainage, I have the project that was dated back to 2020. Okay, and I started in midway of 2024. We caught up a lot of it, and we do have a big list. And if we have the employees that we would need, and that I think y'all already had at one time, the amount of employees, I think we can knock out this list very quickly. I asked them to keep advertising, just nobody come that's qualified. So I have a couple of ideas if y'all want to entertain them. One of them would be maybe look into a temp service. There's somebody else in another parish told me that that's what they use. They use temp services, and then when they bring somebody in from the temp services, they'll give you a chance to try them. And if the manager likes them, you can have an opportunity to offer them a full-time job. The next thing, since we're not having nobody else apply, maybe they don't know that y'all brought up the minimum wage. When y'all brought up the minimum wage to $15 an hour, I mean, people are still thinking that working for a parish, you're gonna make $9 an hour. So maybe if there's a way to advertise that, you might have more hits on your advertisement. And then the last thing is, we have a lady in our office that suggested doing a job fair at a high school. And I'm gonna tell you, I've trained plenty of people out of high school in my life, okay? And I welcome people that coming out of high school, they wanna come work for us. I'll train them for y'all. So that's all I got on that. We have the employees, I think we can knock out the list really quick. Appreciate it, Paul.
Thank you. Thanks, Paul. Any other public comment? Last call. Drainage Committee report, Chairman Pineville.
Yes, sir. The Drainage Committee meeting was held this afternoon at 4 o'clock. All members were present besides Mr. Patterrow and Mr. Broke. We had 4 items on the agenda. We reallocated $411.40 to Go Mesa Bond Project fund. We had an update on the Lower Texas, Monterey, Cauchon, and the Himalaya Canals. Got an update from the parish manager on the parish-wide drainage projects and completion dates. We provided a bit. Also, we approved Ms. Jordan Delarose for a 5-year term on the Bayou Lewis Drainage District Board. I present this all in form of a motion.
Motion by Mr. Pineville. Second by Mr. Nakam. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Personnel Committee report, Chairman Diaz.
Personnel Committee met at 4:18, all members were present. Item 1, we approve OSEP director to advertise for administrative assistant to replace retiring 911 field worker. Item 2, we approve the proposed personnel manual amendments. And item 3 was no action was taken. I present this all in the form of a motion.
Motion presented by Mr. Diaz. Second by Mr. Mathern. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Road and Bridge Committee report, Chairman Alcorn.
Yeah, Road and Bridge Committee met this afternoon. All members were present. 2 items on the agenda. We approve the lowest quote for our 2025 annual bids for road and bridge and also the fleet service that we use. And item number 2, we approve the lowest bidder for engineering services for Aerosteel Road Bridge repairs. I give you those 2 items in a form of a motion.
Motion presented by Mr. Alcorn. Can I get a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Nakane.
Ron, you have any idea of what month of the 25 we will start blacktop?
Probably around, not start blacktop, but we'll probably start trying to get the road somewhere around, the spring.
Why
And,
not? Starting in January. Start getting it ready.
we're gonna finish up what we got. And then we'll move on.
We have a motion by Mr. Alcorn to accept the committee report, second by Mr. Nakane. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Finance committee met at 4:48. All members were present. We approved to pay list of bills submitted through December 6, 2024. We approved to renew the boat launch leases for Ricky Landry and Terry Blanchard. We approved the 2025 polling place contracts. We approved the 2025 Assumption Art contract. We approved the 2025 fire protection contract renewals with all 5 fire departments. We approved the CEA renewal between the Assumption Parish Police Jury and the LaFouche Parish Sheriff's Office relative to housing female inmates. And we approved the amended budgets through November 2024 and the proposed budgets for 2025 and recommended for publication.
Motion to approve your report.
Motion to approve the report by Mr. Nakane,
Second.
second by Mr. Alcorn. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Engineering Grants Committee report, Chairman Nakane.
Yes, sir. All committee members were present. First item, and the rest of the jurors also. First item, we had updates from GIS Engineering on Jolimore Street Project, Bertrandville Street Project, Bell Rose Lane Drainage Project. We rejected all bids. Constant Canal, we approved Curran Cove out of Metairie for $141,000. Update from the Planner Design Group, we're gonna modify the permit on Gerald Street Levy Project. We had a update from Infinity on parish-wide sewer plant improvements. We had an update from the Council Grants Coordinator, update from South Central Planning, update on fire hydrants. We request authorization for the president to sign addendum to contract with CJ Savoy Engineering for the fire hydrant projects in the amount of $6,135, and that come out of a line item appropriation. I can't understand my own handwriting. Next item, update on Ag Center roof project. No action was taken there, but we waiting on a termite analysis. Update on courthouse renovation project. Update on Tacopah Landing. Number 11, update from OEP permit regarding individual sewer district boundary definitions. And a motion was made that everyone in the system be connected. Next item, request approval for the president, secretary treasurer to sign engineering contract with CJ Savoy engineering consultant for the Bell Rose Walking Trail. Next item, request variance for communication tower at 5593. That was approved
To set that,
for a
set that.
setback requirements. Next item was a request of variance approved to allow for application for commercial building permits for communication tower at 5593 Highway 1 with South Central Planning to ascertain compliance with any applicable codes and regulations in lieu of property engineer, parish engineer review by Central Parish. And last was approved communication tower permit application for Smart Link Group LLC on behalf of Vertical Bridge at 5593 Highway 1 to Porterville. Present that all in form of motion, Mr. President.
Motion presented by Mr. Nakane,
Second.
second by Mr. Ponville.
Mr. President, I just have one request that we send a letter out in reference to number 11 to enforce it that we go through all the maps for all areas and send all of the notification out at one time, so everybody get affected around the same time. That's who's gonna be added to the system, to the game. Instead of doing one area this month, next month, do them all at once.
Okay,
And they're all gonna have a separate 30-day.
Well, so they all have the same 30 day, and they send all notification out at once.
that'll be up to the sanitarian though. That's not up to us for the 30-day notice.
Well, we provide them the maps.
You could request a sanitary.
I mean, just requesting that they do it all at once.
Okay.
Instead of doing one person in January, one area is January, somebody in June, just take.
That might not be such a good idea, Chris. What if they all, plumbing issues, you know? To get with a licensed plumber and you have so many people trying to hook up, weather permitting, that they can't hook up within them 30 days.
I don't think that's gonna be the issue. If you tell everybody to know within 30 days, you give everybody 30 days
All right, I'm good with that.
to get it
I'm
done.
just trying to help them out.
I think if they need leniencies, they're gonna come back.
Trust me, it's gonna be 30 days.
Next item,
Do we have a motion to that effect?
That's my
to,
motion.
all right, I have a motion on the floor by Mr. Carter so that all the residents are notified at the same time rather than a staggered notification.
I'll second that motion, Mr.
Sanitary.
President.
Second by Mr. Pineville.
Just to make that clear, we're gonna generate a list. Work on a generated list, and once that list is generated, then we all notify everybody at the same time.
It's,
You can make that
so it's
zone.
gonna be worked with the sanitarian, and it's gonna be up to the sanitarian when she notifies them.
Okay.
For
We just
the,
request.
You just
we
gonna
just
provide
look
the
up.
list.
We need to provide them the maps, right?
The map, the zone, you're gonna make a zone on the map. And everyone from them plans is in that zone.
Correct. But that's good, another comment on that. A lot of that's, dependent on the assistance I get from the water plant, because they handle the billing, so I mean, I go there sometimes and we ain't got time to fool you, Mr. Paul, I've dealt with that a lot of times, this way, you know, so I cannot control how they assist me over there, you know, so that.
You need assistance from the water plant for you gonna have the maps.
But they handle the billing, so I have to kind of go with them.
But once you get a map to our sanitation department, they're gonna take over the rest, right?
No. That's gonna be
They're
dependent
gonna
on
do
me.
the enforcement on
They're
it.
gonna do the enforcement on
They're
it.
gonna tell me.
he's gonna give them the list of the people that it needs to be enforced.
So I guess the question is, when do we assess the charge? Because that's what we get at. What you're talking about, the charge on the waterworks side is separate and apart from their 30-day notice, their disconnect or their.
A lot of variables with
So
that.
when do we assess the charge?
After the 30-day notice or before? the 30?
Then we gotta track everything with DHH.
That's crazy.
Just set a date.
The only way you can force them to do it is to charge them. We talked about that last week.
The ones that are not hooked up to the system, they're gonna tell on themselves. They're gonna, just like. Why
So
am I
how
being
long do you think
charged
it take
this?
you to get all this together?
Well, Friday is my last day at work today, to the first. I ain't taking vacation in 3 months, so I've got days I'm gonna lose if I'm sitting at 300 hours of annual leave, so, it'll be after the first. You know, it's a lot, and like I said, I've been to the water plant 8 or 10 times in the last 6 months. Mr. Paul, we ain't got time to fool with you. We ain't got time to fool with you. We ain't got time to fool with you. What I'm supposed to do? I don't have access to their computers. I don't have access to their system. They just run me out. You know, it's not their fault. They're busy also. They don't want to deal with this. I'm being honest with you.
What were you
together,
asking
though.
of them? To see if somebody was
They
being
go into the
billed or not?
system and see if somebody's paid, to see if,
I think that's what we gotta do is just provide a list and say, all these need to be billed.
and that's kind of what I
Yeah,
did.
that's
That's
what he
kinda
did.
what I
Leave it
did.
to-
I
leave it
brought
to
her a
them
map
and
and
say,
said,
all
look,
of them.
I gave her this map and said, look, Miss So-and-so, go through this map and you got a time.
No. An address
Yeah.
list.
Yeah, that's a lot that's gonna be a lot.
That's what they need.
That's what we're gonna have to give
Yeah.
them. They're not gonna be able to read
But I
that.
can't, how am I gonna know on that list, who is not paying? I gotta give them a complete list of everybody. in those
Give them
streets.
everybody that's on
You know what I'm
there.
saying?
Everybody
And I've
that's
done-
on the
yeah.
list.
And that's kind of what I did before, just because to be a little more detailed, but then I'm gonna be at their mercy to say whether when they wanna fool it or when they wanna get back with me.
No, you gotta provide them with the addresses.
Yes, I will. I
And they
understand
just
that.
send it out. If they're gonna send it out.
We still gotta all work together. I see what you're saying, Paul. So they still have a job to do.
Yes.
And you don't just need to go shove something in their face and say you need to do it. I get what
I
you're
think
saying.
they're gonna do it
So
at
we
their-
need to work
it's gonna
together,
be
collaborate together as
That's what
one.
I'm saying, it's just, it's
Yeah.
just there, if I go there
A
with.
formal
people,
email.
If I go there with a list of 100 people, 150 people,
Yeah,
well,
I
we
get
can
it.
cover all that. But if I go there with 2 or 3, yeah, we can sit down, Mr. Paul, you gotta sit with them and watch them and we work together and look at the computer.
Yeah.
It's very tedious.
You can't go with 2 or 3 because you don't know who's tied in, who's not tied in.
But it
So we,
doesn't.
I'm gonna give you a perfect area, just one area. If you go to Grant Loop, you got the map. Can you tell who tied in, who not tied in?
I cannot.
Okay, so you got to give them every address on Grant Loop.
That's
in
pretty
that
much what I
area.
did before, Chris, that's what I'm saying. I gotta go in and say, everybody on Grant Loop from 101 all the way to 303. They,
Right.
you know, should be paying. That's what I did, and y'all told me that's not the way to do it. I said, charge everybody, but now you're telling me that's not the way to do it. You want me, they want to be notified.
No, I didn't tell you that wasn't the way to do it. I told you we hadn't approved that
Yeah.
yet. Now that we have approved to charge everybody, then you can go with that method.
Yeah,
Do the same thing you did before.
okay. But y'all, you said they want to be, everybody be notified at the same time.
But they can.
No, but I think it's two different things. The notification from DHH in the 30 days is separate from the
Yeah,
So
billing.
what we doing?
What we doing?
Because you also got to go to the health department. They got to send out notification, right?
No, they're gonna do that on their own,
The noti-
for the ones that are not hooked up.
How they gonna know? How they gonna know?
That's
They're
what I'm
gonna
saying.
But they're gonna be calling you whenever they have to pay a bill.
It shouldn't work like
I
that.
don't know how DHH is gonna go to
How
house.
they gonna
Go
know?
house to house and with a probe and find out whether that connected to us, to.
Yeah, I
But
mean,
you
they,
gotta go for a
they, they
permit.
can just go to a
You
house
have
and
to
see
go
if
for a
it's
permit.
got a septic system in the back. I mean,
You got houses that
That have,
got hooked up and still have the system in the back.
correct, that is correct.
no, that's what I'm saying, so, yeah, then she would,
So you know where that address is.
I know
So you're
some,
gonna report that one to DHH.
I know one address that got hooked up, but it was too late in making the determination to get the system filled in. So the people didn't backfill the system, but they all hooked up to the system and they all paying.
If they're paying,
Yeah,
then there's no issue.
Yeah, really.
I understand. So I'm just we're trying to explain how they gonna know if a
They're
house
gonna
is
tell on
hooked up or not.
themselves.
Right. Whenever they get a bill
That's what they're gonna do.
and say, well, wait, I'm not hooked up to the system.
Yeah, no.
And the sanitarian's gonna go say, well, you need to be hooked up to the system.
Yeah, if you send everybody in that area, all right, y'all gonna figure it out.
Yeah, they're gonna tell on themselves.
So Paul to provide the list of addresses or maps as soon as possible.
I'll try to create a list and I'll bring it back to y'all and we'll decide from there.
No, you send it
Just
to the
go to them.
workers and
I will.
tell them to bill them.
Paul, do you have a point of contact that you do deal with over at the water plant?
I have 2 ladies that I deal with.
Just shoot them a nice email, let them know what you're working on, see what might be feasible when you can bring that list into, so y'all can go ahead and try to close the gap. We gotta work together. I don't agree with you just going shove
Before he
something.
goes to the water work to the list, he need to go to the health department so they can send out the 30-day notice.
To all of that.
That are not paying. They're gonna send them a 30-day notice, give them a chance to get connected
Well,
first.
he don't have no way to
You
identify.
gotta
it,
send
but he
everybody a
just-
letter, just send everybody a letter. I mean, they're paying it good, they're not paying well, they go figure it out. Everybody on there. They do send everybody a letter.
So what we gonna do?
Might be cost effective, it may not be, but this is my thoughts. Everyone who's in that consolidated sewer district, they should receive some type of communication saying, hey, starting January 1st, all these, if you're in this sewer district and you are not paying your sewer fees or sewer allocation, it will begin on your next water bill, starting blah, 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 blah. Because there's no way.
Whether you connected or not,
Huh?
whether you connected or not.
Whether you connected or not, bottom line. That's the best way to do it. And just not to go in a different direction, but I think we as a jury should have done a better job as we went up on certain rates and certain rates when we did other with the solid waste and the mosquitoes. We should have did a better job in letting our residents know exactly what we're doing, how we should have communicated it in a better way. And I think that's a route that Mr. Carter is trying to do in the sewer district. Because next thing you know, we're getting phone calls or, well, I had to find out from Joe Blow, blah, 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 blah. And we made an enforcement that we had to make because we can't afford it. We understand that.
We made a request to the waterworks and they didn't read the letter.
I don't think we should put everything on the waterworks. I think it should come from us. That's just my opinion. I've seen communications that the school board sent out when they're about to make changes or when they got this or when, I think we can do a better job in getting the message out. That's just my opinion.
Be a lot easier to send it out with their bill.
That's what we tried.
We actually just missed that part of
They
it.
just missed one.
Let's ask them to send it again.
But now they trying to get a price as to how much it's gonna cost. By the time they get all that done,
It's done.
it's January.
It's gonna be January anyway. I mean, Paul about to go on vacation.
No, but I made this request a month ago.
Once you get the list from the waterworks, bring it back to us, and then we can determine what the effective date for those that are not paying now, when they will have to start paying. Until we get that back, we don't have any idea what time frame we're working with.
Enjoy your vacation, Bob.
No other actions on that item. All right, next item is update on LSU Ag Center Healthy Communities, Monterey Park, Ms. Maria Gonzalez. So, as you jurors may remember, a couple years ago, we had some students from Laverdale Middle School Beta Club came and presented to us and requested some improvements at the Monterey Park. Those students that were at Laverdale Middle 2 years ago, now at Assumption High School. And they've come here tonight to hear from Miss Maria and what the plans are for the park.
All right, good evening. I want to introduce myself. Last time I was here, we got some new faces since then. So I'm Maria Gonzalez. I work for the LSU Ag Center as the Healthy Communities Agent here in Assumption Parish. So just to give you a brief overview what that means, I work under our SNAP Ed program, which provides nutrition education to a bunch of different agencies in our schools, Council on Aging. We do some library programming. And then I also work under the CDC High Obesity Program. And what that is that the CDC has identified parishes in Louisiana, which our first round of funding, there was only 6 of us. In our next round of funding, we are still included, but we are now 11 or 12 parishes. And it's parishes that have an obesity rate of 40% or higher. Not something to be proud of, but what it means for us is that we have access to federal funding to do different projects that increase opportunities for physical activity and enhance food systems in rural communities. And so that's what we've been working on for the past few years. Those of you who are here, you remember our students from Laverdale Middle came and proposed a project that they did as their beta service project. And other than passing the connectivity plan, which was a huge deal, we did that. And I'll pass it to y'all in just a second. They also proposed some park improvements. So they are here today to give you an update on that project.
Good evening. I'm Braxton Benoit, former president of Laverdale Middle School Beta Club. In 2023, we came here to present you how we wanted to give back to our community through our beta service project. We decided to plan for much needed improvements at the First Lane Park. Our plan included changing some things at the park itself, as well as enhancing routes to get to the park. In May 2023, the police jury adopted a complete streets plan for the Supreme community, which you have before you today.
Hi, I'm Owen Claus, former vice president of the Laverdale Middle School Beta Club. Our plan also included new playground equipment, and we met with Dr. Maybeth Lima and her biological engineering students to create a playground design. Our hope was that the LSU Ag Center CDC HOP program would pay for the playground equipment, but that did not happen. We recently received notice that there is a funding opportunity for the proposed playground equipment through Humana Healthy Horizons. In collaboration with Assumption Foundation for the Arts, we would like to accept these funds so that our vision can come to life. I will now turn it over to Abby O'Neill from Assumption Foundation for the Arts.
Mr. Chair.
My name is Chet Bro. I'm one of the members of the Board of Directors for Assumption Foundation for the Arts. It is our pleasure to partner with these wonderful student leaders behind me. Great team at LSU Ag Center of Assumption Parish, Humana, a generous donor, to accomplish this project for our residents. We thank Humana Healthy Horizons Initiative for investing in the health, well-being, and happiness of our families and communities in Assumption Parish. We're excited to infuse arts-based play into this project, into the Myra Park in additional ways, and involve our art students and families together with our wonderful Labradorville Beta Club leaders to see this project through. These kids had a vision and are working hard to make a positive impact on their community, and we are here to help in any way that we can. Thank you also to the police jury for your support and additional funding and hands for this project. Thank you.
All right, so behind the connectivity plan that I gave you is kind of a little rundown of the proposed plan, what this would look like. We do have a representative from Humana here today. Chelsea Baptiste is their community engagement specialist. Yes, and she sits on my Healthy Communities Coalition. And so how this happened is we had this proposed project. It's pretty much just been sitting in the archives, and she has money. Hey, do you have a project? That's how it came to be. So Assumption Foundation for the Arts is willing to accept the funds because Humana has to give these funds to a nonprofit organization, but after would in turn give the funds to the police jury for the purposes of purchasing this equipment. We decided that would be the best route because the police jury is tax exempt when ordering playground equipment. And so, of course, this is just what we propose. We cannot tell y'all what to do. Y'all can shut this down completely. The only thing is that the amount that they are proposing to give will not cover the surfacing of the playground. So the police jury would have to put up approximately $10,000 to complete the project. Once we get through that, you would order, have everything, and then Humana would give an additional $7,000 in the new year to pay for the installation of the equipment. Now, that amount of money covers a community bill, very similar to what we did in the Belrose community. And I would again collaborate with the police jury to facilitate that effort. So we're excited about this opportunity. We hope that you are too. If you have any questions, please, I'll entertain questions now for me or Humana or whoever.
You got $10,000 to give the children? Recreational.
You got it?
You got some money in your rec budget?
You should.
Well,
Should have-
not this year, but next year. you will for sure.
Next year.
I mean, 2025 is right here.
Yeah, but he had money
You
promised.
had nothing left over?
I don't know right offhand.
Oh, all right, all right,
Yeah, I
all right.
don't know that.
I'm almost sure you got money.
Yeah,
in
he
there.
got.
You should have some money
This year's
left over.
allocation and next year's allocation.
I don't know the
You all
numbers
know,
right
right.
offhand.
He got money.
If you don't, Mr. Brewer, I think the rest of the jurors will support you and fulfill that from
Many of
their
them
end.
have money.
Just want to make sure you have some money to be able to.
Right. So assuming that we would move forward with this project, there's
Right,
another
move
caveat.
forward, move forward.
Humana has this worked into their 2024 budget, so these funds have to be turned over pretty quickly. Their CEO will be in the area on Monday, December 16th, and they would like to meet us at Myra Park at 2 o'clock to present the check to Assumption Foundation for the Arts. Of course, you are all invited, especially you, Mr. Brewer, as this is your area. But that's all we really have for this project.
2 o'clock when?
Monday.
Got that, Mr. B? 2 o'clock?
So y'all want to check for $10,000
Yeah.
on Monday?
No, they're gonna award. the
Humana
55 yeah,
wants to
the
turn over
55,000.
Okay.
the money for the playground equipment on Monday.
So I guess maybe just to give you're gonna work with the students in selecting, I guess in the Foundation for the Arts, and selecting the playground equipment
So
that
the
is gonna be
playground
within
was
that budget.
designed 2 years ago. The playground that they designed was, I want to say it came in to be $43,000. 2 years later, it sits right over 50 grand. Humana is willing to give 55. So it should cover the cost of the playground equipment. If it does not, we can absolutely change some things, cut some elements out. Unless the jury would want to just pay the extra to get the plan that was originally drawn up, but that can change. It doesn't have to be exactly what was put together.
So once approved tonight, will there be any documentation that our Secretary of Treasury need to sign off? Normally when the agency gives those type of funds,
Well, at this time, they're just making a donation to the Foundation for the Arts.
Right.
Okay,
It'll be coming directly to us.
so we'll come directly to you. Okay,
And then,
But we commit to.
okay, gotcha.
right, so whenever that donation is made to us, then at that time, we can allocate it to Ward Four Recreation Fund for
And
this.
it's happening this way because even though we were able to purchase playground equipment in the Belrose community, our grant is no longer able to purchase playground equipment. So, things that we can purchase have changed. It's a lot more strict. We received less funding and we're more parishes, so it's a lot more competitive now. Not saying that we won't accomplish anything, but we are really, CDC is really pushing us to look for outside sources of funding, and we're doing that. So we're trying to find other ways that we can fund things that CDC won't allow, and then have CDC partner to fund some of the smaller things to stretch our dollars.
Good.
And to our representative from Humana, back there on behalf of the police jury, I'd like to thank you.
Miss
Thank
State your name.
Humana for, presenting this to these kids, and improvements in the parish parks.
Yeah, I'm happy to help. I'm from a small town too. I'm from Gramercy. And I was here at the Belrose build and I overheard a conversation about the Libertyville playground and I was like, oh wait, I got some money, so let's see what I can do.
You got any more money?
Gotta spread the wealth. I got 7 parishes to take care of.
What's your last name, ma'am? Ms.
Baptiste,
Baptiste.
no P.
No P? Okay.
And on Monday, it's a groundbreaking ceremony. So we would love to have all of y'all there. If you can make it, like she said, it'll be at 2 o'clock.
Sounds good. We definitely appreciate y'all.
No problem.
Thank you.
Good.
Thank
Thank
you.
y'all all
Thank
for
y'all.
coming. Next item, request approval to adopt the resolution to approve the permanent move in polling place for Ward One Precinct Two to the Assumption LSU Ag Center to be effective January 1st, 2025.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to table this to further notice. I've been communicating with the clerk of court on looking at some other options, in Ward One, in the precinct number 2. The Assumption Catholic Church is not out of the woods. Their center is not out of the woods. I'm working with our legislators, trying to help them out. So I'd like to table this to further notice because we are working on some other options.
So the problem that we have though is there's a date to notify ahead of time, so we had to do an emergency order to have it be a temporary polling place. So we can always move it back whenever another place becomes available. But the Secretary of State requires us to identify permanent location. We have an election in March. So if we don't do this now, we're gonna be in trouble for our March election. Because you're not gonna have enough days to notify.
They gotta get approval and they gotta send all the notices out. Got a lot of time.
So I think our best course of action would be to approve this move tonight. So
Subject-
continue to pursue, you continue to pursue it,
Okay.
and we can move it once it gets located. The site has to be surveyed, that survey has to be submitted to the state. It takes time for that stuff
And
to
the
happen.
the good thing about this location is just, it's already a polling place, so it's all in place.
Okay.
So a new place is the process.
So I understand your point, but I think at this time, it's best that we do,
Yeah, I mean,
approve the permanent move. and
I'll go ahead and make the motion, just make sure we keep that language in there. It's subject to change, later, in the future, in the future.
Motion by Mr. Alcorn,
Second.
second by Mr. Pondville. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. Next item, request approval to adopt the resolution to approve and authorize a move in polling place for Ward 7 Precinct 2 from the Charles Landry Grocery Store to Belrose Middle School to be effective January 1st, 2025.
They just, I don't think they wanna do it any.
No, it's not that. It's so the Secretary of State, any voting precincts with less than 300
Oh, it's the merger
voters,
one. Okay. Yeah.
the Secretary of State's no longer gonna support the cost of that election at that polling site. And if the parish wants that polling site, the parish has to bear 100% of the cost of having that polling site. And it's just not feasible for us to have that expense on the parish. So as much as I'd hate to move it, at this time, we have really no choice but to move it. So.
It's already a polling place.
Was that, it is currently a polling place, but Belrose Middle is a polling place now. Right, there, Ward 7 Precinct 2 will now be voting at Belrose Middle School,
Where's that grocery store?
at the intersection of 1001 and Highway 996.
Yeah.
Wow. Grocery store.
Motion.
Motion.
Can I get a motion by Mr. Mathern,
Second.
second by Mr. Bro? All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. Request approval to adopt the resolution for the Assumption Parish canvass proceedings for November 5th, 2024 special election held in Assumption Parish.
That's for the Council on Aging.
Motion.
So they got another, they putting another
Well,
one?
no, this is to canvass the results.
Oh,
It
okay,
already
oh,
took
all right,
place,
all right,
so we
yeah, I
just-
know.
this is part of the
Yeah,
process.
voted for that. Yeah.
So, motion to adopt the resolution by Mr. Mathern, second by Mr. Bro. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. Request approval to appoint replacement for the board member on the Library Board of Controls effective December 31st, 2024 for Mr. Warren Orbano.
I emailed y'all the applications they sent of Miss Andrea Johnson or Miss Tara Dupat.
I make a motion for Ms. Tara.
All right, there's a motion on the floor by, Mr. Carter, that, we select Ms. Tara DePatty for the Library Board of Controls, second by Mr. Alcorn. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. Request approval to send a letter of support to the Assumption Parish Library Board to name the Pierport Library Meeting Room in memoriam of Mr. DJ Peanut Alamo.
I'd like to make a motion to send that letter of support,
Second.
President.
I'll second.
Motion by Mr. Pineville, second by Mr. Diaz. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. Request approval for the second phase of derelict structure proceeding located at 129 Barbier Lane, Ward 1.
So move. Y'all see
Motion
the
by
picture?
Mr.
Y'all see the picture?
Oh.
You put the pictures in the packet?
Pictures first, please.
Yeah, a bunch of pictures.
Pictures first, please.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, pictures are first phase. This is, they didn't do anything to it, so I didn't
Nothing.
include
Thumbs
the
up.
pictures.
Okay.
Thumbs up.
Second
And I
Motion by
sent
Mr.
her-
Alcorn,
just for the
second by
record,
Mr.
I sent her
Carter.
pictures with times, dates, everything on it.
I have it.
Right, with nothing being done. So, yeah, motion.
So the motion on the floor by Mr. Alcorn, second by Mr. Carter. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Request approval for the following occupational licenses. GBC Food Services doing business as Yummy Sushi in Napoleonville and Cajun Spicy LLC in Pierport. Motion by Mr. Carter. Second. Second by Mr. Pineville. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. Request approval for the following liquor license application. Kim Alvarado, January 31st to February 2nd, 2025. At 4910 Highway 308 in Napoleonville, doing business as St. Anne Immaculate Conception Chapel, Assumption Blessed Virgin Mary Church, St. Philomena.
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Pineville,
Second.
second by Mr. Bro. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. I have one deviation.
Kim, how long it has to run in the newspaper for it to go out to be,
It runs 2 Tuesdays, so, I'm gonna publish it. They don't, I'm gonna publish it tomorrow.
They publish it tomorrow.
They don't accept any, so it'll publish on the 17th and the 24th. Then we'll be doing the 25th, but that's Christmas, so it's 26th at 2 o'clock.
I have a deviation to authorize the president to give special programs director Tawanya to enter and sign for the 2025 CSBG grant.
Mr.
President, that was, I think on, the last meeting, the special meeting, you signed on November 13th meeting, you signed the authorization form, but it was authorized for you to sign and it hadn't had on the resolution that it was authorization for me to sign.
Okay. Motion to deviate by Mr. Alcorn,
Second.
second by Mr. Carter, all in favor? Opposed? All right, now we will deviate.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's all right.
On November 13th, that was a resolution saying that it was authorized for our president to sign the CSBG grant, but they need authorization for the special programs director to sign.
So I need a motion to authorize the special programs director to sign the 2025 CSBG grant. Motion by Mr. Pineville, second by Mr. Bro, all in favor? Opposed? Motion
Public
carried.
comment, public
Next
comment,
one, the meeting,
public comment.
next meeting.
Any public comment related to this deviation? Hearing none. All in favor?
Uh,
Opposed? Motion carried.
Oh, we change the date for our next meeting?
No. We have budgets next meeting.
For the date.
This next Wednesday.
Next Wednesday.
Next one.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm looking at that.
it's always the
It's
second and third.
Can I get a motion to adjourn?
Motion
Motion
to
to adjourn by Mr. Diaz,
Second.
second by Mr. Carter. All
You
in
you were
favor?
thinking it was still the fourth. No,
Opposed?
December's always the